some, get some. Can I get a hell yeah? Yes, I am a pirate. You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything. It's a pirate's life for me. Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're a pirate. It is a first down. Pirates. Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. When you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it. I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there. You live with Omaha? I can promise you that. And it's purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down to my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome in to TSO Sunday Night here on the Sports Objective. As normally, as you see on the screen, those watching Pirate football playback, but it's actually another bye week, our second and thankfully final bye week. Ladies and gentlemen, a man that I've thought a lot of for a long time now, for like the last 6 years, I think. Johnny Stats Robertson. What's up, dude?
Hey, Dave. What's up? Hey, I'm with you on that. It's a drag. It's a drain. Like just to go so long and not have a game to look forward to. And now all the Thursday night games are over with. All the byes are over with. We got a game in 6 days, and now I can get back on track. And
yes, sir.
I can't wait. Are you still going? You're definitely going, correct?
Yeah, yes, sir. We so by the way, I'm glad you said that, Johnny. I want to make an appeal to the Pirate Nation and not a negative. This is actually a positive. Thanks to our good friend Bubba Rosenbaum, part of the show for many years. He sent me a text, and there's, I think, TickPick, but all the secondary markets right now, there's 64,000 for their they can seat 64,000 at Lincoln Financial Field where the Eagles play. And Johnny, I got, this, but I'm going to say this on the air. I got 2 tickets. People are not going to believe this, for $10, $5 tickets. No, they're not nosebleeds. No, sir. They are 5th row end zone seats I got, and not bragging. I'm just in shock. And you know that, Johnny, I wasn't bragging the other day when I told you. I was really surprised in a good way, because tickets now are just astronomical, as you know, and everybody watching and listening. I want to appeal to Pirate Nation right now. I would love to see, Johnny, I would love to see an early bowl-like atmosphere. I'm not talking about bowls. This is going to be a difficult game with Temple, but I just want to tell you guys that we, the Pirates, let's get a huge fan base out there. People that like Matt Semenza there in the Northeast, and maybe DC, Philly. We have a Philly, by the way, we have a Philly Pirate Club, and they were doing, thanks to Bubba told us that too, they're doing $10 tailgate. So I'm going to try to do that, Johnny, on Saturday, depending on, I think it was at 10 to 12 to 2. I can't remember. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, if you're in Pirate Nation, and I know we have a lot of people that have things going on, birthday parties, people are going to weddings. I got a friend of mine, Johnny, that's a huge Pirate fan and graduate. I tease him because he's at a wedding like almost every Saturday. I'm like, what's going on? I was like, I never get invited to weddings. Not that I care, but he's at a wedding like every Saturday. Anyway, he's a great dude, and he's a pirate, and that's the most important thing. And Johnny, go ahead.
I was going to say, since Matt's not here, and he's not here for a good reason, by the way. His son Chase is at a baseball camp at a major D1 program, and that's definitely more important. And I just wanted to say he would have agreed with you on your statement about let's get a bunch of fans, go up there and take over that stadium, because there's no reason that we can't do to them what BYU did to us. They were loud when things went their way, and I feel like we can do that 2 times better than they did it if we can get just a couple thousand people up there, because they're not going to have a lot.
If we could get three, I think our allotment we usually get Johnny per school is 3,000. If we could have 3,000 to 5,000 is my goal. And but let's be rocking, let's be loud, because look, even if I know I'm not expecting 64,000, okay, nowhere near that, but we know that the Pirates travel well. We know that we party. We know we have a good time. Philadelphia is a great city. It's very underrated, in my opinion. You have a lot of great sports. You have a lot of great history there, obviously, and Johnny, you and I are very patriotic. I love, Constitutional Hall and all that stuff is really cool. And I am a huge, and let me just say, huge Sylvester Stallone fan. Since I was a little boy, I love Sly Stallone, including his, my favorite show right now. It's not for the faint of heart. If you're very offended as far as language and violence, it's not your show, but Paramount Plus, Tulsa King, season 3 right now. They have a new episode every Sunday. So after the sports objective, I'll be watching that before I go to sleep. But anyway, just wanted to say to everybody, there's so much. The cheesesteaks, a buddy of mine, another Pirate fan, we're going up. And Johnny, I hope you can make it. But we're going to go and we're spending the night. I found a hotel room for only a really nice hotel for $150. I got the cheap tickets. So we're doing it on the cheap. We're going to drive up there. It's about, if you drive it straight, it's like 6:45 from my house. But if you, it's probably going to be at least 8 hours each way, but it'll be well worth it. We'll go, I don't even know when we would leave, early Saturday morning, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll leave like at, check out on Saturday. Not to tell everybody my business, but I've been meaning to say that for a whole week now, Johnny. So thank you for allowing me to do that. And I know that you're a great Pirate. I tell you what, folks, when you want to look at a great Pirate, this guy right here is at regionals. He's at bowl games. He's everywhere. He's several hours away. He's got a house right near the stadium in Greenville. He goes to airports like whenever the Pirates win. And that's the one of the first times I met you, and you met my children for the first time, I know, was at the Greenville airport after, it may have been Temple. It may have been Temple, the Temple game.
I think it may have been. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I do what I can, Dave. But there's plenty out there that do much more than I do. So I don't want to, I don't want to take anything away from them because I'm not in their class. Maybe one day I will be, but as of now, I do what I can. But.
No, and that's what I was going to say. I'm not trying to. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't trying to start a debate on who's the biggest Pirate or the greatest Pirate. People, we have a lot of great people. And I was telling you, Johnny, we have a lot of great diehards, but what we need to do is continue to put money in the programs, which we have. Man, I'm really proud of our program as for athletics because the grade point averages like Kim McNeil, when I went to both of the media days, missed you really bad on Tuesday, and totally understand, but it would have been great to enjoy that with you. But you did football with us. It was awesome. And we'll have baseball in January. But Kim McNeil, really proud of those ladies. Johnny, here's a stat for you that you're going to really like. Their grade point average right now for the women, 3.4, and they most likely will have after this semester, they're shooting for, and it looks like very obtainable, a 3.5. Think about that. For basketball players and football players are always they're not smart for football and basketball, blah, blah, blah. And you look at, I'll have to double check. Ladies and being a great role model for them, but off the court, they're graduating, and not only graduating, but they have a great GPA.
Well, Coach McNeil deserves a lot of praise for that. And I would think it's more difficult nowadays, not the NIL era, but the revenue sharing era to kind of get that under control, so that's really good to hear.
Yeah. And I was going to tell everybody that, bear with me. I've had an outrageous week at work, and I'm trying to get as many of the interviews up as I can. Interviews that we haven't got up there, including Riley Davis. Great guy, man. That guy is brilliant. I knew he was a great recruiter, but a very smart dude. It's great to be like around like the Johnny Robertsons of the world. The people, they're very smart. It makes you smarter for many reasons. But Riley, I have an interview with him. Got a chance to speak to off camera, off mic, everything with Coach Schwartz. Just thanked him because many people may think I am not anti Coach Schwartz. I like him a lot. The one thing that I've said, and including to Coach Davis, we need to spend more money. Everybody can say, well, David, we can't compete with Memphis. We can't compete with Memphis. What we have to do is all of us, including, Johnny, there's a lot of people out there that maybe you can only give $100 a year, right? Maybe you can give 500. Whatever you can give. We're not asking you to mortgage the family farm and be financially irresponsible. We're simply there 74540. Call them tomorrow and make your donation, and let's get that revenue sharing. Johnny, there's no reason with our great fan base. I'm not being critical of our fan base. I'm just talking good about our fan base. We have a lot of people that always say take showers after work, and blue collar kind of people that I love so much that are down to earth. And if you just here. So anyway.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, I wanted to make an announcement. I should have made it earlier in the show, but we do expect Kyle from LaGrange to join us as well as Stevie. I think they're both just running a little late, but I think they both do plan on being here. So I just want to throw that out there in case someone's tuning in for Kyle or Stevie. You should get your fix in shortly, I would think.
No doubt. And while we have a moment, I want you to talk about Keaton Mitchell. How about the Ravens today? And Keaton Mitchell, you said 4 carries today?
Yeah, he had his first carry was 25 yards. Then he had a 13-yarder. He had a 3-yarder and a 2-yarder. They didn't target him, but 41 or 43 yards on 4 carries. Obviously that's more than 10 yards per carry. And he had 4 touches, and Justice Hill only had 1. So I don't know. Maybe they're looking at Keaton, to maybe stimulate the offense, which, I know Lamar Jackson will be coming back, so that'll be some stimulation in itself. But, I've always said with Lamar and Keaton on the field at the same time, that's a lot of speed you have to plan for. Now, obviously, Derrick Henry's not going anywhere, and nor should he. And he's one of the best running backs in the NFL. But I think Keaton maybe is a third down back. Hopefully, we might see more and more of them going forward.
And and I tell you what, I know that Kyle doesn't like the NFL, but it makes it great when we have ECU folks. Okay, I'm not even a Ravens fan, but I will be pulling hard for Keaton Mitchell, right? And all the different Pirates that are. And it also makes it fun, Johnny, when more or less, when you have our great fan base and then you have our great players and you got guys that make it to the National Football League, the Shield. I mean, that is like a testament to our program. And when you have a Keaton Mitchell to the world, he's a generational player. And, oh, by the way, he's definitely, there's no reason why he's not a Hall of Famer for ECU in the future. I don't know what year it'll be, but he's definitely a Hall of Famer. And let me say this one more thing, Johnny. I'm sorry. Please do Hall of Fame every year. We have a lot of people. I'm not going to get sidetracked. I'll make a quick point. I know it's probably financial reasons. I understand all that, but we've got people dying right now that I'm not trying to be dramatic when I say it, but let's have an opportunity to get them in the Hall of Fame. And one of our friends that's going to be on the show Wednesday night is a legend, by the way, Johnny. Brian Bailey needs to be in the Hall of Fame for ECU. He's done 41 years helping the Pirates. 41. There's a lot of people that have come. Think about that. Thousands of people. But I digress, Johnny. But go ahead about Keaton Mitchell and all that. I wanted to make sure we made that.
Well, there's not a whole lot more to say about Keaton because that's all he did. He had those 4 carries. But I mean, while we're talking about Pirates and the pros, I'll give a shout out to Trey.
Was that great?
Trey Savage. he's now pitched in 4 playoff games. He's 2-1. The Jays won. He started. Only gave up 2 runs. Did not get a decision, but pitched very well. And now, in his 4 playoff games, he has 27 strikeouts. He struck out 27 batters, but miss. That is special stuff when you can do that. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't want to get too deep into it. But I felt like that should be mentioned because
Absolutely.
I was stressed. I don't have any fingernails left because I was just stressing for him because that lineup with the Dodgers,
wow,
it never ends. It never ends. So it's like you don't ever get a break. You can't take an at bat off. You really can't, you can't walk anybody intentionally. So, he did what he had to do and he did great. So I just want to throw that out there. Congratulations to Trey.
Right. Today's a travel day.
Yeah. They're playing again tomorrow. Now it's tied up 1-1. So.
Sorry about that. I'm having some issues with my internet.
I can't tell if it's you or me. So it's you, not me.
Well, I think it's both. But anyway, we'll do the best we can. And we'll see. I may have to sign out and sign back in. But we'll address that one guys here if it continues to be a problem. But let us know if you're having trouble on your.
Yeah.
Here, there's only one part tonight that just in the last few minutes it was tough. But mine has been freezing up. So anyway, I wanted to say, Johnny, thank you. It's been a joy to have you on the season, and I appreciate you very much. And I guess we can go ahead and mention too, Johnny, if you don't mind, what we talked about last week. Johnny's going to be a part of our basketball coverage. Is that okay? I guess it's too late to ask you now. I forgot to ask you pregame.
Yeah, I feel like basketball is what I don't know. I like to spend time on all the sports, but basketball is, I guess, because there's less players, it's easier to do stats on, 12 guys than it is, 44 or 25 in baseball. So, yeah, I love basketball.
We'll have that basketball. We'll have some pre-games, obviously. Previews rather, and obviously we'll have basketball overtime where we'll be watching the games, and right after the games, as Johnny and I talked about last week, we'll do a 30-minute show as Bubba used to do with me. And so it's great to have Johnny back. We had a tough time last year with basketball overtime, but it's great to have you, Johnny. I don't like doing a show if I can help it by myself, so it's great to have a partner, and we'll get some more people. I got some other ideas I was going to share with you. I just thought about yesterday.
Yeah.
So. But,
hey, you want to talk about, since we're waiting for those two, I don't want to address the American because I know Kyle has
right. We'll talk about
that he wants to talk about. So we'll leave the American out of it for right now. But do you want to talk about a few of the games? There were some
great games yesterday. I tell you what, I just absolutely love, and maybe I absolutely love when we have a chance to. The only good thing we were talking about earlier about the not having a game, which is really hard on me. It's great for the 16 days off as far as the Pirates and getting them healthy. But I tell you what, it was college football has had some great games. And which ones did you want to talk about? I was
going to just start off with it was. I think I watched pieces of all these games. There were 3 overtime games that were decided by 1 point. And all 3 of them were decided by 2-point conversions. Now, UVA and UNC, it was 10-10 end of regulation. UVA scored. They had the ball first, kicked the extra point, 17-10. Carolina got a touchdown, and then they went for 2. And I'm telling you, it was 2 feet short of the goal line from them beating UVA. But it ended up, Virginia won 17-16. And then the Temple Tulsa game. Kyle, I'm just gonna briefly touch on that, just to say that was another overtime game. They went into overtime. Tulsa scored. They kicked the extra. Temple scored. They kicked the extra point, and then Tulsa, they scored, and they went for 2. They went to win it, and it was an incomplete pass. And then Western Kentucky and Louisiana Tech, I'm sure there weren't a lot of people watching that, but that was one of the rare occurrences where a team went for two to win it in overtime, and it worked for Western Kentucky. They beat Louisiana Tech 28-27. So, I mean, for the year, when teams go for it to either win the game or lose, on a 2-point conversion, it's 5-2 in favor of failure. So it's a gutsy call to go for two, but it doesn't always. So far, it doesn't always pay off.
Yeah, you beat me to it. That's one of the things I was going to talk about is that, at the beginning of our show, that comment that Coach Logan made, Johnny, as you may remember, we lost 10-9 at West Virginia in 1996, and we beat the dog. Well, I can't say that word. Out of South Carolina, and I just censored myself. And that after that game, Logan went off, and that's why you go for it every time at East Carolina. And so that very reason is that when you have a situation like that where it's 10-9, that was the first. 96 was the first year where we didn't, thankfully, got rid of the ties. I hated the ties. I absolutely hated ties. I do not like a tie. I don't like it in the NFL. That's one of my negatives towards the NFL. Get rid of the tie, please. Have somebody just go to eventually in the second. What I would recommend, I'll say this really fast. Sorry, Johnny, is the NFL needs to go to the college format after the second overtime, and do your regular traditional overtime, and then if it's still tied up, then go to a shootout, kind of like they have the format, the ball at the 25-yard line, and do all the things that college does second overtime on. But anyway, I really love college football. I think one of the things that drives me nuts with college football is just simply, Johnny, we saw those great games and the great products. And something, by the way, I'm going to tease right now when we get the fellas is I sent you guys there's a model right now. They're looking at expanding to up to 24 teams. Yeah. And I'll get your thoughts later on, but I want to get people to be thinking about that 24 team playoff, and they're only going to give 2. And I don't want to give too much of my feelings about it. Only 2 group of 6 spots. Totally ridiculous. If you have 24, you could definitely do I'll say this and say it later. You do the 10 conference champions and then 14 at large. Are you kidding me? That's what you do. But anyway, Johnny.
Well, I don't think they'll ever do that. They don't want to split the money with
they don't.
But the other thing is, it is an actual increase percentage-wise. I mean, 1 of 16, 2 of 24 is better than 1 of 16. But
yeah,
I'm just not sure. I don't want more teams in it. It makes the regular season pretty much meaningless. And some teams are going to know they're in week 4. And I don't want expansion. That's for sure. I was just going to mention a couple other games that I watched yesterday. I don't know if anybody out there was watching, but there was crazy finishes. So Wake Forest turned the ball over 5 times, but they kept clawing back. And SMU, they still think they can make the playoff by winning the ACC. But SMU 12, Wake Forest 10. 4 seconds left, and Wake kicked a 50-yarder to beat them 13-12. That was a really exciting game. And then the Texas Mississippi State game. Mississippi State was kicking their tail the whole game, and then they punted the ball with a couple minutes left, and Texas ran it back 79 yards, took it to overtime, and then they won. So I was really rooting for Mississippi State in that game. But that was another great game to watch. And then finally, Missouri and Vanderbilt, 10-10. Vandy's up 17-10. And then Missouri throws a 36-yard, well, actually it was a 37-yard Hail Mary, but he caught it at the 1-yard line. And it was a contested catch. There were like 3 defenders. It was a ridiculously crazy catch, but he was just like the Carolina game, he was like 2 feet short. So
I saw that. And I tell you another game, Johnny, that was not close. And I think Kyle said it last week or the week before. The weeks are running together now. NC State, what in the heck is going on there? Because that's a game I wish we had back. I think the BYU game would have probably gone the way it went, even if we replayed it. But the NC State game, man, that first quarter, you take away that first quarter, you can't spot somebody 17 points. But NC State is looking terrible right now, and Pitt is a good team. I'm not criticizing them because of like Pitt scoring, but I'm just saying to me, I would expect that game to be way closer than it was.
Oh, I agree. Hey, Dave, last week I criticized you. Maybe you could interpret it that way, but I didn't really intend it to be that way. But you mentioned that somebody had projected the Fenway Bowl to possibly be Clemson and East Carolina. Well, I said it's a little too early for that, but now I spoke too soon. After this weekend, all the bowl projections are out, and the three that
what do they have?
The three that I trust the most. Okay, so one of them has us playing Kansas in the First Responders Bowl in Dallas. One of them has us playing Kansas State in the Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And then the other one has us playing JMU in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, hey, all three of that. Look, for me, the bowl season is awesome. And that's why I've always said, don't get rid of the bowls. So I'm grateful that they're not touching those bowls, like saying we're just going to get rid of the bowl games. You can argue if it's too many, but the great thing about it is it's an economic boost, and for the impact on the economy for Myrtle Beach or wherever you may, Dallas, Fort Worth, like we're talking about. But I just thought it would be fun to play in Fenway, and the Clemson team, they're not having the year that they're that's Captain Obvious there that they want. But I just felt like looking at it, trying to be a wannabe Johnny Stats, looking at where we could potentially go. But it all depends on, again, I don't think there's a question of whether, Kyle is more on the, what would that be, bear market. I'm more bullish on the Pirates. I think they're going to definitely make a bowl. It's just a question of which one, and it all depends on how the second half of the season plays out with the 5 games in November.
We'll definitely be in a bowl. To your credit, one of the picks for the the Fenway Bowl was Clemson and Tulane, so you weren't that far off.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, Clemson has a lot more talent that's showing this year, and it is what it is. I'm not going to get in that debate, but I'll tell you one thing: if Clemson's stupid enough to fire him or push him out, then if I'm Florida, I'm throwing everything at Dabo. I think he's a great coach, and they haven't. Anyway,
this is you know what? I feel like teams that might be on the fence about cutting ties with their current head coaches, if you're a big name program, you might want to hold off on that, because just say Clemson decided to get rid of Dabo. Well, they're going to be fourth in line behind Penn State, LSU, Florida, because LSU, they had he's not officially fired. Brian Kelly is still the coach of LSU, but and that game just fell apart for him in the second half, and that offense is just not getting it done. But just to go to where I was headed, there was long discussions on how they can reach an agreement to separate, because they're done with Brian Kelly. Because it's the boosters. The boosters don't want them there anymore. So that's going to be messy, because that's a lot of money somebody's going to have to come up with.
How much is it?
So I'm looking at Penn State and LSU. I don't know. Is Florida? It's hard to say who's the chain there. I think LSU would be number one, his most desirable job. And then Florida and Penn State, I'm not sure, probably Florida, then Penn State. And then Clemson would be a distant fourth. So if you're trying to hit a home run higher, you got some competition if you're Clemson.
Johnny, you make a great point, because we look at those names and they're brand names, but you're absolutely right. That's exactly why James Franklin, they had no choice as well at Penn State.
No,
I think he's a great coach, but it's just not, it's like, I think he's met his ceiling, like he's hit his ceiling and he can't do any more. And then losing to UCLA was the nail in the coffin for his being a coach at Penn State. And then when you're looking at Brian Kelly, look, LSU is a very good job, so don't misunderstand me. The one thing I would say that's crazy is that, they fired Ed Orgeron, and I know he had like the players and the staff and everything, as Kyle would say, but he still won a national championship for him. And so it's like, if you don't win a national championship, they want to fire you. And look, I am one of the most competitive people you'll ever meet, but you also have to be reasonable and know that you're not going to win the national championship every year. That should be your goal. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying like accept mediocrity, but at the same time, when you have a good coach, you need to be careful, because eventually if you're LSU, people are not going to come there because they're going to go, look, if I have a 8-4 year or a 9-3 year and I don't win the national championship, I could lose my job.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree.
By the way, Matt makes a great point. Matt Redmond, that is. Let me see if I can get that up there. We're running out of top tier coaches. Agreed, Matt. I think that's one of the things is and I think that one of the things that comes down to is, I believe that this whole NIL and now revenue sharing and the transfer portal has hurt the top tier programs more than it's hurt the group of 5 and now group of 6, because you look at, there's only so many 5 stars that can play and 4 stars that can play. And I believe it's hurting, and I'm not making any excuses for them. It's not, East Carolina is my love, but trying to be objective here. I think it's hurt the Alabamas, the LSUs. I think the Penn States, the Florida. I mean, Florida has had so many coaches and they just don't get it right. And I think Napier is a great coach, but I don't know. Their facilities are great. You're the flagship of the University of Florida. You are Florida. There's no excuse why they shouldn't win. But again, and here's another thing, Johnny, that I've noticed in the SEC is that they get all these teams and they get all the good teams, and it's just like carnivores. I mean, they're just like eating each other up, and they should have, I know understand about money and all that and markets and all that, but there's no doubt about it that it's a tough, if you want to win the national championship, going through the SEC is really tough, especially when the Mississippi schools and Vanderbilt are good now.
Yeah, I agree. I heard somebody say yesterday that James Franklin needed to be fired in their opinion, but also in their opinion, whoever they hire won't be as good as James Franklin. I mean, that's a crazy statement, but I guess that's, where we're at right now in college football. And Matt Redmond, I was thinking the same thing. And that's a great point by him. I can't come up with a list of, candidates that would knock your socks off. I don't know who they are or where they're at, but
how about and we're not I guess going to go down this route, but we have hold on a second. I was trying to pull this article up and there we go. But Kenny makes a great point. Appreciate you, Kenny, very much, and we got a lot of great listeners. And he said Lincoln Riley. There we go. Lincoln Riley would be good at Florida LSU. Here's my thing. Hey, go ahead, Johnny. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry, Dave. I was just going to say that the 0% chance, in my opinion, and I'm often wrong, but they're shooting for like something that's proven. He's not really, USC is not doing great. They haven't done great.
Yep.
His offensive mind is great, and both those teams want a better offense, but I don't think they go there. I just don't think they would.
Bring in, speaking of a great coach, let's bring in Stevie.
Put me right there with Brian Kelly.
Well, hey, Stevie, you still have a job. I know he has a great. What is the pay, guys? What is the payday on Brian Kelly? I haven't even looked that up. It's been hellacious. Yeah.
Hold on, I'll find out.
It's a really big number.
It's insane.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
You know what, Dave? I used to keep up with that stuff, but now the numbers are so ridiculous and unrealistic that I don't even bother because they're all nonsense. So I don't even try to keep up.
I'll tell you one thing I love, and I was talking about this last week, I think. Kurt Signetti got that big payday in Indiana. But what if this is just I want Indiana to be good. I think that's a great story for college football, definitely this year. But let's say they tank in the next few years, like they have 2 or 3 really bad seasons. You're going to owe that dude a lot of cash. And I know that's a chance you take, but good Lord.
$54 million.
Wow.
I was thinking I was off by 8 million. Yeah, I was thinking 46 million. So I'm glad I didn't say anything.
You know what, Dave? Even if Signetti tanks, I don't know really what the definition of tanking is, but in all honesty, they'll still be better than they would be with any coach they've had before him. And
that's true.
I love what you said about Indiana being good again is good for college football, because I agree, because I just want someone to beat Ohio State. I'm an anti-Buckeye guy. I always have been and always will be. And I'm sorry, Stevie. Are you
I'm right there with you, JR. I'm right there with
okay,
you.
Cool.
I can't believe y'all don't like the Ohio State University. I thought for both of y'all would love Ohio State. Come on.
No,
we've had some really good players on my Steelers defense over the last decade that came out of Ohio State. Cam Hayward, of course, Ryan Shazier before that injury sidelined him. But yeah, but still, I'm like you, John. I would love to see somebody take Ohio State out.
No doubt. And their number, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen the AP top 25. They're number 1.
Oh, they've been number 1.
No, I mean they've stayed obviously number 1. And how about Miami moving up to number 2?
No.
What?
No, Miami lost last week.
Oh,
yeah, Miami's
Indiana's number 2.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
they have the wrong. I'm looking at the Athletic. I beg your pardon. They have the wrong.
Yeah, Indiana's number 2. I think Alabama's 3.
Yeah. Alabama moved. Alabama, that's another one that I'd love to see anybody beat. But Alabama and South Carolina had a good chance the other day, but Alabama has been after that first loss, Florida State, they have righted the ship. And let me tell y'all, so much was made out of this quarterback class this year. But did anybody have the Alabama quarterback being one of the best in the nation?
No,
I don't know. Someone that's a great point.
I mean, you had Archimania, and that has been a total flop. You had the kid from what I can't ever say his name right, from Clemson, Klubniak or whatever. He hadn't been good.
Cade Klubnik.
Yeah, and then the Nussmeier kid from LSU, which he's he's
not helping them at all. I'm telling you,
not.
He has skills, but maybe it's the offense, maybe it's the play calls, but yeah.
But Archman has been one of the biggest busts. Coming into a year where he was the Heisman front runner to where he's just mediocre right now, if that much. I mean, I guess they had a pretty good game yesterday with that comeback win over Mississippi State, which he got hurt in, and I think the backup threw the touchdown that was the game-winning touchdown in overtime. So
I think he's concussed, I believe.
Yeah, it's an upper body injury is all they'll say right now.
Well, I think the whole thing. I hear what you're saying, Stevie, and I agree with you 1,000%. But I also think that the talking heads, I know his last name is Manning. I know who his dad is, and I know who his uncles are. But the kid, good Lord, he's what else,
But he came into this season with hardly any experience in a game,
right?
And they were already anointed.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. They already anointed him like he was, like you said, like he's going to be definitely the Heisman Trophy winner. And I'm going, the guy hasn't really played. I mean, what in the world are you talking about? Like the guy,
what has he done to get,
or like these guys that, for NIL deals and now revenue, they're getting like millions of dollars and they've never played a down in college football. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but you know how they have the rookie deal in the NFL. I think there needs to be some kind of, and normally I don't say this, but I think there does need to be some kind of cap on how
definitely.
these players can get, because like a rookie cap or something, you can do the freshman cap, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, for a guy that's never played a down and you're getting millions of dollars and he hasn't even stepped on, some of them hadn't even stepped on campus, and they're getting like all that. So
Ridiculous.
But but I tell you what, it doesn't matter because it's not our East Carolina Pirates, and so I can.
Oh no, bring up Kenny Curlin's comment down here.
All right.
He plays at the University of Texas, Kenny. I mean, their line that was never even talked about during the whole season. He should be putting up. The line might be a little bit of the problem, but if you've watched him in his games, and JR, I don't know how you feel about
this big game, yeah.
Yeah, let JR look. I mean, when he's out there throwing, his mechanics are totally off. He's got happy feet. He throws off his back feet. He is not what you would call he's just not a Heisman Trophy quarterback.
I saw a meme the other day, and it was a short video clip of one of his passes, and then they paired it with a short video clip of Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. They were identical.
Yeah, I did see that.
They were identical. Yeah, he needs some work on his mechanics.
Yeah,
his line could be a little bit of a problem, but if you watch him set up back there when he's throwing the ball, yeah, he's got Uncle Rico abilities back there, like Johnny's like that, Johnny.
Hey, that's part of the problem with Nussmeier too at LSU. They don't have a good offensive line either, and the strength of the SEC really is their defensive linemen. The size and speed is unmatched, and so that's a problem if you don't have a good offensive line. So, Kenny, I hadn't thought about that, so maybe I'll cut a small break to Mr. Manning.
We were talking to Stevie right before you came on about Vanderbilt. How about this, guys? The Commodores were ranked number 7 in 1937. Their best ranking in the history of the poll, which started in 1936. They've never finished higher than 12th. And speaking of another great, I really like Clark Lee. I think that he came, was it Notre Dame? And then he came to as a first-time head coach off the top of my head.
He's going somewhere probably, unfortunately.
Maybe
but since you brought up Vanderbilt, I'll just say this has not been a good year for Franklin, Coach Franklin, because James Franklin, because at least he could always say, well, look what I did at Vanderbilt. That's the best season they ever. He can't say that anymore. So, I don't know really what in the future what he'll point to for his coaching high, but it can't be Vanderbilt anymore thanks to Clark Lee.
Yeah, I think that he's a situation where I just think he needs a new, like a fresh start, because I think he did everything he could for Penn State, and it got to a point where it was obvious he did everything he could for Penn State, and it was kind of like, all right, he's going to do it this year. He's going to do it this year. He's going to do it this year. And you're like, okay, isn't that like several years in a row that he's going to do it this year? And so I'm not into. I like him a lot, but Penn State again. If you're a Penn State fan, your expectations are extremely high, and maybe too high, considering in the pecking order. Michigan and Ohio State, and now you have the likes of Indiana in there. And what's the deal with my favorite coach, Luke Fickell? Is he going to be fired at Wisconsin?
Apparently, probably not. Just
really?
Because,
wow.
it would be. They don't have the money. They don't have the money to fire him, and they're hoping that they think they played actually pretty well on Saturday. They
okay.
They covered the spread, and they kept it close. So, yeah, maybe I think we'll see him next year.
Speaking of the spread, Stevie and John, we haven't talked about it on purpose, and I've been waiting, and we'll talk a little bit about the Pirates, and maybe Kyle will join us here in a little bit. I know he had something going on family-wise, but Stevie, I saw the line. I think it was Kenny or one of the guys put up the line for ECU Temple is 4.5.
Yeah, I think that was right. Is that what you saw, JR?
I was shocked. I mean, I'll be honest
Yeah.
with
I haven't checked it, so that's why I want to ask you guys. Today is, I think you guys saw my text. I would much rather be um, basically trying to. Basically, what I was trying to do is, have like hour. I usually do an hour or two of prep, and I had some plumbing issues. So, pardon me, guys. I've been doing a little bit all week long, but Sunday night before I usually have the 6 and 7 o'clock hour to work on the show, believe it or not. And today it was plumbing that I was working on because if not, it would have been like the Noah's Ark downstairs. I'm upstairs in my room. But anyway, by the way, our good friend Matt Semenza, co-host of the show, Penn State should consider Manny Diaz or Matt Campbell. Would Urban consider coaching again? That's been the rumor, Matt. You're not far off on Urban Meyer going to Penn State, but that's a great Manny or Matt would be great.
Yeah. Why does Matt Campbell get mentioned every year, but he never goes anywhere? I mean, that's a tribute to him, I guess, but I know he's been offered, but he must really like it, at Iowa State. But
Would you want? I'm sorry, Johnny. Would you want Urban at your program again when he's everywhere he goes? There's some kind of controversy. He may be there 2 or 3 years and he leaves with a controversy. So I mean, of course, he had the glory years of Florida, and he had some good years of Ohio State, but he left Ohio State with a big cloud over it. I don't know if I really don't know if I'd want great coach. I don't know if I'd want Urban there just to be there for a couple of years and cause some kind of controversy.
You're
Penn State doesn't need that with another head coach.
No, great point. And also, I just feel like with the Urban Meyer thing, and I actually met him at the Stevie and Johnny, great guy. Met him at the Coaches Association when he was at Florida, 2006, 7, somewhere around there. And great guy, liked him as a coach. But you're exactly right. It's going to be health issues. There's going to be some issues off the field. The Jacksonville Jaguars debacle. I mean, we could just there's a laundry list of reasons why Penn State doesn't need that. I think Penn State, I agree with Matt Semenza. I think the Manny Diaz or Matt Campbell, but Manny Diaz has done a great job at Duke. And I wasn't so sure, to be honest, I wasn't so sure how he would do at Duke. And I know Duke and Penn State are apples and oranges. I get that. But if he can do a good job at Duke, with the academic at Penn State has obviously got academic stuff too that, to meet. I think that's you might be onto something, Simmons. I have to give you, he's our football analyst, obviously, and so is Stevie. What do you guys think? I like that. That's actually not a bad choice.
I can see that. Go ahead, John.
I didn't hear the question, Stevie. So you can answer the question, and then I'll figure out what it was, and then I'll comment.
He's just talking about Matt's comment about Manny Diaz or Matt Campbell going to Penn State.
Okay.
Where does that? Oh God! Look at this. This David. I can't pronounce his last name.
Is it Shillings?
Shillings. Where does Dave Dorn go at the end of the year?
I'll tell you what, that I was saying that earlier, Johnny, Stevie, that about that Pitt NC State game last night. I turned it on. I said, what in the heck? Because I thought for sure that game was going to be closer. I think Pitt's a better team.
It was close for a while because when I turned it on, they were, I think it was like 24-21 Pitt. And then
third quarter,
I had to go to a birthday party. I drove about 20 minutes, and I looked at the score, and it was like 40-something to 20-something. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, the third quarter, fourth quarter was like, what? It's like a tell of two halves, I guess. But
Kenny Curley, have y'all talked about Dion yet?
No, we hadn't done that. Kenny says,
go ahead, John. Let Johnny get his comment in before we talk about that.
All right.
I want to hear what Kenny has to say.
All right. He says, I bet that Dion retires at the end of the Colorado season. He has health issues and a horrible team.
Amen, Kenny.
They really got it put to them yesterday.
Yeah. Do you guys remember on Facebook and even on this show, there were so many people on the bandwagon with Colorado.
Oh gosh,
You remember that? We talked about it off air with each other, and we talked about it on air, and then people on Facebook. I am a Colorado fan, and where are those people now? I mean, they're nowhere to be found. And I'm not anti Dion. I'm just saying that, like, he had his moment, and I don't think, and with Jacksonville State and with Colorado, I think that we were talking about ceilings. I think his ceiling at Colorado is, it's time for him to move on. I'm not going to tell him what to do, obviously, but that's just the way I feel. And Stevie, with being a head coach, it's not that I don't mind. It's not that I mind him being unorthodox, but I don't know. I just feel like he had some good players, but there's a lot of players that he's missed on. And when you microwave a team, and I know that we do that all the time now with the way NIL and transfer portal is, but man, what in the world?
He doesn't have those splash players like he had with
Correct.
Travis Hunter and even Shador. So he lost a lot when he lost those two.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh knows, Dave. They retired Shador's number. He had to be a great quarterback there. I mean, after losing the one bowl game he was in and having a barely winning record. So why wouldn't you retire his number?
I love it. Matt Redmond says, since he is 7-1, Wisconsin is 0-5. Pickle made a huge mistake chasing money. I agree. I think that I think he hadn't made it Cincy. I understand why he did what he did, but Cincinnati is definitely, if you're looking at a model for East Carolina, we're not the same school or anything like that. However, talked about this before with Cincinnati. There was an article, it may have been Sports Illustrated a few years ago when they had their run and with Cincinnati, how they basically spent 10 years working on their facilities, working on everything behind the scenes, and that paid off huge dividends, and they become a P4 school. And we're going to have to continue to do that, whether we like it or not. We at East Carolina, I really believe we're on the bubble. And if we were to, Stevie, I was going to ask you, how do we get those? Johnny and I were talking about this last week off the air on a phone call, but how do we get those casual fans back? We've got a lot of people that watch and listen to the show. I would argue that it's about 35,000 diehards. And what makes our fan base great is when you have the casual fan. They know if we've won or lost, but they don't do all the stats and they don't discuss the games like we do. And I'm not trying to make us better than them, but you know what I mean? Like people that they're fans and they show up for the game, they buy season tickets, and maybe they love to tailgate, but we're missing out on 8,000 or 10,000 that we used to have that we don't have anymore.
I don't really know what the answer to that question is right now, because as much as we struggled through the Scotty Montgomery era and
the 22 season,
and
with
because
Houston,
and now you see we have good teams and people are leaving at halftime when we're winning in a game or we're close in a game. I actually talked to a man who lives town, and believe it or not, in a big town of Alaska this week, and he came up to me I was eating lunch, and he said, I listened to you on that show. He said, and there's a guy named Brian Buck. I don't know if you guys know who Brian Buck is, from Gates County, I believe. He's like, I don't know if he's trademarked a phrase like and I can't remember what exactly is word for word. He's put it on like some cups and stuff like this, talking about play hard, stay for the whole game or something like that. Just talking about the ECU fan base, and not all of them, but you know how it was, Dave. You've been there when you look over there at halftime of a game that we're winning and half the people are already gone.
Well, here's the thing that bothers me, and I'm going not to put you on the spot, Stevie, but here's a guy, and I'm complimenting you. Here's a guy that works his tail off, and he would kill to be at the games. And he's we don't fault you at all, Stevie, because you got to work for a living and you have a legitimate excuse. But so that's number one. There's a lot of people that are unfortunately not coming to the games for various reasons, and then like not legit, or choosing. That's their prerogative if they want to stay home. But you're a guy that works your tail off, and you have to work on Saturdays. And a lot of the ridiculous Thursday night games, we know why they do it, but there's a lot of people. My point is, there's a lot of diehards like you that would love to be at the game and be able, like when we went to the game, and you have to, whenever you can, you're always welcome with me, you and your daughter. It's like, that's what's frustrating is that. And I tell you another thing is, guys, I had several people, including a guy that works on my team at work, and he's a season ticket holder. He said that, he told me, he said, Dave, he said, look, we were talking about this on Thursday. He said, the problem is the game starting at 7:30. He said, I left at halftime, not because I wanted to leave at halftime. He had to be at work for one of my teams at 6:00 in the morning the next day.
Yeah.
He's like, he said he's torn because he needs to get his rest, and he said even, staying to halftime was tough when he woke up on Friday. And we talked about it on Thursday and then Friday, but I just wonder about that. How many people, the Saturday is ridiculous because a lot of people are off on Saturday. That's just a matter of a lot of people going back to, they go out and get a drink at halftime and they don't ever come back. But the Thursday night games, I totally understand. My point is, I understand the Thursday night games. I just don't have a feel on the Saturday games.
I don't think anybody can put a finger on what the root cause is. Hey, I know this is crazy, but I wanted to go way back to Matt Redman's comment, because this is the second comment he's made where I'm in complete alignment with him. He said Luke Fickell made a terrible choice going to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add this, because I had this conversation with a friend earlier today. If Luke Fickell stays at Cincinnati, right now, he's probably candidate one for the Penn State job.
Oh, wow.
In my opinion. But nope, he jumped to Wisconsin, and now he's, fighting for his life. I really feel like he would have been like the leading candidate at this point for Penn State. Matt Rule took himself out last week when Nebraska got humiliated by Minnesota, who had turned around this week and lost by 38 points to Iowa. Hey, by the way, that game, Iowa won 41-3 over Minnesota. Iowa scored a touchdown rushing. They scored a touchdown passing. They had an interception return. They had a punt return and a field goal all in the first half. That's the first time that's ever happened in NCAA history. So,
wow.
Remember when they used to score 4 points a game? Well, not four.
I was going to say 41 points is more than they scored all last season, ain't it?
They got it going on right now.
Well, by the way, going back real quick, guys, about the issue with the Bill Lee says, I agree. I think if you're going to spend the money on the tickets and parking passes, I think you should stay till the end of the game, at least till the fourth quarter. I mean, getting better and we're playing better now. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't think the Thursday night games help either, but I really don't think we're going to change that. Let's bring in Kyle from LaGrange. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle from LaGrange. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys? Been a busy day. Was expected to be a lazy, lay around the house today. I had planned to cook tonight, and we ended up having some issues with our truck, and I took it over to our friendly neighborhood mechanic, aka Jessica's cousin, and almost $400 later in parts, it's fixed, but zero labor costs. Thank you, cousin Connie. And,
hey, I think he's all of our cousins now. Now all of a sudden, he's gonna be all our cousins.
Yeah.
I will.
Hey, go ahead, Kyle.
No, I wasn't expecting that. So shout out to him. I doubt he'll hear this, but he's not a sports guy. But shout out to him for doing that. I did not expect him to do all that for free, but I appreciate it, and I'll get him something later, whether he would accept it today or not. But anyway, I think he felt bad. I thought it was going to be something a little cheap fix, and ended up being $400 in parts. So anyway, so I told my wife I was going to cook dinner tonight, so I stuck to my word and did that. So that's why I am arriving late, because we didn't get home until 7:30.
Wow.
But anyway,
We
so
saved
I
the
don't know what's been
American.
discussed. Okay, nobody really gives a damn about hearing about my truck or
Well, I'll
dinner.
tell you,
So
we saved we saved talking a little bit about the Temple game. We haven't talked much about that, and we saved the American for you as promised.
we talked about the Temple game a little much Wednesday, and we got the preview this coming Wednesday. So let's talk about Temple this past week against Tulsa. Yesterday, we played Tulsa a couple weeks ago and beat them by 14. I thought Tulsa was getting better, and that appears to be the case. They had every opportunity to beat Temple yesterday and had a great 2-point conversion play called in overtime, a little pop pass, and the guy just didn't hang on to the ball, or Tulsa would have won that game. So Temple wins by 1. I think we are immensely more talented than Temple, but Temple does not make mistakes. They play really good football on all three sides of the ball. They do not beat themselves. Their quarterback is extremely accurate. House is a more talented quarterback in terms of pro potential, bigger arm, but Temple's quarterback is as accurate and as smart of a football player as you'll see. 0 interceptions, I think. How many touchdowns at this point, JR? Do you know?
21.
Yeah.
21 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Just plays smart. Does not have a big arm, but is extremely accurate in the intermediate stuff. He's a guy that we got to get a lot of pressure on. That would be my strategy with him because he's really not going to beat you deep. And you're going to give up some plays on the intermediate stuff that are going to be some big plays. But as accurate as he is, I think you got to keep pressure on him. From what I've seen out of him, I don't know if y'all agree with that or not. And as far as strategy on offense, we go up tempo. That's what we do. But Temple plays a lot of players on defense. I heard the announcer say yesterday they play over 30 players on defense. So I'm assuming what our plan is going to be to go fast and not sub often, because if we can't sub, they can't sub, and let them kind of not keep their defense fresh. But Temple, I know a lot of people might see that score against Tulsa yesterday and kind of go, well, maybe Temple ain't what we thought they were. I disagree with that. I think it was two things. One, I think Temple's way better at home than they are on the road, and we play them in Philadelphia. And two, Tulsa's getting better.
I would agree.
Yeah. I agree with all that. But Kyle, don't you want to go on Saturday?
I mean, do I want to go? Sure. Do I have the extra money, nor have I planned to go? No. And as I've told everyone before, Jessica told me to keep Halloween weekend free because she's decorating for Christmas. So, Dave, are you still going? JR, are you going to Philly?
Yeah.
Dave, definitely in. I am. It's tough for me because then after that, the next 2 Saturdays, I'm driving to Greenville. So for me, 3 road trips in 3 weeks, my wife would probably not, be agreeable to that. So I probably won't, to be honest. Do I want to, like you, Kyle? Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, Kyle, at the beginning of the show, the tickets are ridiculously cheap. I got 2 tickets for $10. So you do a great job of getting people like definitely with promos. I'm trying to get 3,000 to 5,000 people there at that game that are Pirates.
I think that's kind of one of those things where the tickets are cheap, but you got to plan for that. I mean, it's not like you. I mean, I guess you could day trip it, but you'd be worn the hell out.
Oh yeah.
So, some people got to make plans, get hotels, etc. And Philly's not one of them places where you can just go stay at the Super 8 and not worry about it, like Harrisonburg, Virginia, or something. It's in Philly, you gotta you go stay at a Super 8. You might wish you hadn't done that.
What are you saying, Kyle?
I'm saying Philly's a big city with some bad parts to it. But so I don't know. I think if you planned on going at this point, you're going to go. If you have it, it used to be a time where Pirate Club would plan bus trips. That this would have been planned back in August. That hey, let's do a bus trip to the Temple game. That I don't know why we don't do stuff like that anymore. That would have been, just speaking of ways to raise money for not NIL so much anymore, but for the collective, a Pirate Club bus trip to Philly where you go on Friday. Maybe you make plans to visit the Liberty Bell as part of the trip. You stuff like that. The Pirate Club should arrange something like that when Philadelphia would have been a perfect place to do something like that. I don't know why that's not done anymore. But that would have been a good fundraiser for not NIL, but
Revenue sharing.
revenue sharing. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean you're spot on, and we also have Thanksgiving weekend. I'm taking the kids down to Boca.
I think Bubba's going to that game, so you and Bubba can hang out.
Okay, that'll be cool. Yeah, Bubba told me about the tickets for Temple. I was shocked, and getting 2 tickets for $10. I mean, and then I got a good hotel for 150. So, which I think is good. Like you talked about, Kyle, I'm not staying at the Dewdrop Inn like Charlie Daniels would say. I'm not staying in some place like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it in certain places, but not in Philly.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, Kyle, how did you feel about Brendan Lewis and the Memphis Tigers' gift to us on Saturday? Taking down USF.
I mean, it was good on a lot of levels. USF needed a loss. We'll have we have the opportunity, if we handle our business the next 2 weeks, to set up a situation with Memphis for not only, if Memphis handles their business, they'll be back in the top 25. Either way, it's going to be a big game. And
they are.
I owe you an apology, Kyle.
They
actually
back in the top 25.
I know where this is going.
They're number 25. I told you it would never happen. It would never happen. You lost to UAB. You can't lose to UAB and get back in the top 25. You said yes, they can. I said never. And there they are. There they are. Well, luckily I didn't.
They just got back. They're 25.
That's come up today, Johnny, and you're the first person I thought about. I said, "Oh boy."
I've been too busy to even notice. But yeah, I knew. Well, 2 things. I knew if they beat South Florida, and I thought it was going to be South Florida and Tulane before they got back in, honestly. But I think the reason is they're getting credit is if had UAB lost their Memphis, their quarterback went out against UAB, and we thought he was going to be out for several weeks. He was back against Memphis. But I think they're giving them a lot of credit for, Lewis being out and now being back against against South Florida. So they're taking that into account when looking at Memphis and that bad loss to UAB. So back in the top 25, if we beat Memphis, like I said, for us to be in position to compete for the conference championship, we got to take care of business the next 2 weeks. But if we do that and we beat Memphis, we'll knock them out of title contention. That'll be their second loss. That's the thing about Memphis. They have no more give.
Yeah, they'll be done.
To UAB, I do like that they play South Florida and Tulane, before they play us, and then have Navy the week after us. So it's a perfect little trap game, so to speak. But, we got to worry about Memphis first. But that was a big win by Memphis over South Florida. I didn't expect it because I thought their quarterback was out for the foreseeable future, and there he was playing against South Florida yesterday, and South Florida looked like they were going to put the game away at one point, and Memphis came roaring back, very similar to the Arkansas game, and so a good win for Memphis, and how it impacts the conference going forward, and you look at everybody wants to talk about the stupid ass playoff, and I guess now we're getting to the point of the season where we can start talking about it a little bit, but. So, who's going to represent the group of 5? Memphis is in the discussion. South Florida's in the discussion. Tulane is in the discussion. Navy's in the discussion. Boise's back in the discussion. But we can get in the discussion, and people are going to probably say, what now? If we win out, if Memphis handles their business against everybody but us, and we win out and then beat Navy or South Florida or Tulane in the conference championship game. Boise will still have some say in that. Boise's been rolling since they lost to South Florida, but I think it's a possibility. It's an outside shot, believe it or not, that we could play ourselves into the discussion. I know people are going to think that's crazy, but it's really not.
It's not right. By the way, there's as far as the top 25 is concerned. We have Tulane and Navy getting the most votes outside of the top 25. So they're like.
Does South Florida stay ranked?
No, it's 20. Navy actually. Dave, Navy's 26th if you want to go by points. Tulane's 27th. And USF is 30th, and 30th. North Texas is 34th.
Yep.
Yeah, North
Texas is 34th.
I don't think South Florida should have fallen out of the top 25.
They fell out, yeah.
I don't think they should have. North Texas is a team to me. I think they're overrated. I could be wrong. Yeah, I didn't even mention them in the American Conference and championship race in the playoff discussion. They're getting a lot of hype. And I know, what are they, a one-loss, two-loss team, one-loss team?
I think one.
Yeah, I just don't
Yeah.
think they're nearly as good as that record indicates. And
I got a comment on North Texas. Their defense, it's right up there with tall grass. It's not going to slow anybody down at all. So I don't know if you can win a championship like that.
Wow, I love it, Johnny. That's the line of the night. I
No,
love
it's the truth. But here's the stat. Here's a stat that's ridiculous. Drew Mestemaker threw for 608 yards yesterday.
Oh,
608 yards he threw for. And here's the stat. I looked him up on Max Preps to see what he did in high school. He went to high school in Austin, Texas. He played as a junior and a senior.
wow.
He had more punting yards than passing yards. He only threw for 316 yards in 2 years. His entire high school career, he threw for 316, but he threw for 608 yesterday.
That's insane. Yeah.
Actually, that game was Friday, I think.
Friday night. Yeah,
Friday
against
night.
Charlotte.
And if we don't
No,
beat
and
Charlotte,
North Texas does have a fantastic offense. They really do. I just don't think they're nearly as good as the. I think
You're right.
I'd like to see if we played them, but we're not going to. They're playing Navy this weekend. Is that game in Annapolis or is that in Denton?
Yeah, I have the whole schedule right here. It's at North Texas. It's in Denton.
I still like Navy to take care of business in that one. If it was in Annapolis, I would say Navy by 2 scores. But I think even in Denton, I think Navy's going to beat North Texas. North Texas, I just don't think they're going to be able to stop Navy, and Navy will have enough ball control to keep North Texas's offense off the field. And I don't like that matchup for North Texas.
hey, by the way, I wanted to mention, as far as Kyle, have you seen? I was talking to the guys right before you came on about our game, the line at 4.5. Have you seen that for Temple and ECU?
Yeah. I've seen it at 3 and I've seen it at 4.5. Looks like most places is at 4.5. I don't, 4.5 points anytime. That's always one of those.
Tricky.
Yeah, it's a funky line because, you're saying you're going to win by a field goal. But, do you think they're going to win by a touchdown? I hate to say this, I always look at 4 to 5 as a good upset line. But this is going to be a very tough game on a Tuesday. What am I talking about? At 2:00 at 2:00, what I was trying to say, on a Saturday afternoon.
With that, I'm sorry, Kyle. I was going to add to that. What the hell is up with the 2 p.m. start? Why are we doing that?
Because that's what the ESPN and I'm assuming Temple wanted to do, or at least ESPN. It's a weird time slot. There's some 2:00 kickoffs on Plus, but not a lot. I don't know why it's not 3:30, but at least it's not 12. At least it's not 12.
If Temple finds a way to beat us, God forbid, they'll be 4-1 in the conference.
Yeah.
Look, and I was going to say that. I'm glad you said that, Johnny. I was going to mention to you guys. Thank you, Johnny, for reminding me. If you count us, because we're 2-1, but there's a lot of 3-1.
We're 3-1.
We're 2-1.
Are we 2-1? We've only played 3
we got
leagues?
5. We have 5 because of the bye, Kyle. We have 5 conference games left.
Okay.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is, if you count us, I think there's 5 or 6 teams, guys. We're all in the neck and neck for like 3rd place.
7.
Okay, 7 play. Thank you, Johnny. That's why we call you Johnny.
Hey, Navy, though, Kyle, I hope, for Navy's sake, I hope they do win in Denton, because then they have to play South Florida, and then they're at Memphis. So that's a gauntlet right there. I don't think this.
And the rest of Temple's schedule is brutal.
At Army, and then Tulane at home, and then at North Texas. So, Temple's not – I had to put them in there because they deserve to be in there, but realistically, they don't really have a shot.
No. Well, unless they get really hot. What about UTSA? How many – are they at 1 or 2 league losses?
2.
2. Okay, and they're playing good football right now. So yeah, right now for the conference championship race, yeah, you got 6, 7 teams still in it. God, I just said 6, 7. Anyway,
Oh my God, that's great, Kyle.
anyway, any of you kids out there, don't start.
My kids talk to me. That's the only reason I know what you're talking about.
Oh God. Anyway, 6, 7. Anyway, there's 6 or 7 teams out there that are still in this conference championship race, and we're getting into November. That's kind of crazy. I think a lot of people look at it as a 3-team race, 4-team race. Well, I guess now Tulane's finally getting remembered again, but people look at it as a 4-team race. But really, it's a 6, 7-team race at this point, and of course that's going to work itself out in the coming weeks. But all we have to do is finish second, and we have that opportunity. We'll have to get some help here and there, but we have our opportunity if we can take care of business the rest of the way. It won't be easy. It won't be easy this weekend. It won't be easy against Memphis by any means. It won't be easy against UTSA. And quite frankly, as bad as Charlotte is, I expect them to play their best game of the year against us. So,
hey, Al, you know what? Al Davis, the former owner, is
just win, baby, win.
Yeah, just win, baby. So that's all we have. I know that's a tall task, but Kenny asked, "What's the weather like?" And I've already looked it up, and I maybe stole Kyle's thunder. But Saturday in Philadelphia looks like sunshine, well, partly cloudy and 58 degrees. So if you're wondering about that,
It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
There you go. There you go. JR's on fire.
Woo, he is on fire tonight. JR, you need to be you need to be playing for the conference championship. Oh my gosh.
58 and sunny or partly cloudy, whatever. Philadelphia, November 1st. You can't really ask for too much more than that for the weather. So that's pretty good. Have you guys talked about this? I guess I got a message about it. I need to confirm it before I mention it, I guess, about Brian Kelly being fired at LSU.
Yeah, it's official.
Okay. That's, I think part of his problem is he's not very likable. I think had Kelly, I don't know, Kelly hadn't done a horrible job at LSU. I think he's a good coach. So he's just not a very likable person. And
by the way, Matt, this is for you. I'm sorry, Kyle, this is for you from Matt. He said, Jessica, you have to wait until November 10th at least to put the tree up. He wants you to be there the game.
There you go, Jessica. You have to wait until at least November 10th.
I'm sure just because Matt said so, Jessica's going to do it. Now, if I had said so, she might have done it.
Did you hear in the background, Stevie?
I heard it. What?
Oh man, this actually has been a great show. And I want to say, by the way, fellas, that we have a lot of people watching, listening tonight. That means so much to me. And we don't take that ever for granted. Just wanted to say about the game, Kyle, by the way, Wednesday night, I want to mention on our preview, we have a legend and hopefully future Hall of Famer, Brian Bailey from WNCT will be our guest to preview the Temple game, and looking forward to that. And we're trying.
Yeah, and I got the homie's cell phone number, so I need to text him tomorrow morning.
Ryan Wallen from Temple.
And Ryan is a great dude. He's one of my favorite guests, actually, from other schools that we have up here every year.
Yep.
So I need to go ahead and reach out to Ryan. Hopefully, you'll be available for Wednesday night. If you've never listened to Ryan, he's a very down to earth dude. Very knowledgeable. Not one of the people that comes on and just.
He's a recruiting guy.
Yeah, and he's not one of those people that just comes on and only knows his school. He's aware of the opponent. He's not obnoxious like some people that represent their other schools. And just a good dude. And Stevie, if you've never talked to Ryan, he's a big wrestling guy. So we get a chance, we can have an off-topic discussion about wrestling.
That's right. He is. Yeah, we talk about that for each time. But yeah, he's really cool, and definitely, I'm sure he can tell me. Do you guys know, by the way, I've asked this, my buddy that's going with me, Mark, he wants to know where a good steakhouse is in Philly. So he wants a good steak after the game. And hopefully it'll be because we're celebrating.
Steak without cheese, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, the Jim's or Geno's are probably the two that.
He wants
he wants a regular steak.
Like what Stevie does.
Boy, Google.
Yeah, I know.
Stevie, I'm sitting here in my brain trying to remember the address to the ECW arena. I was going to just give that address out and say go get a good steak there, but I can't remember.
Oh, good Lord.
Exactly. It's in the hood. It's in the hood.
Oh,
You
thanks,
get that guy killed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, think of the address. At the corner of, I've heard that a million times. At the corner
Geno's
of,
or Pat's. Okay, yeah.
no, yeah. So he
I
wants
think
a
he's
good.
saying no Geno's or Pat's. Justin, what do you
Oh,
mean?
no,
Don't go
He
there?
wants a cheesesteak. He wants a good cheesesteak.
Yeah,
no,
Justin's
he
saying
wants.
no.
No, he wants
He wants a regular steak.
regular steak, not a
No,
cheap.
I bet he wants a good cheesesteak. He just doesn't want Geno's or Pat's. People will say a steak up there when they refer to a cheesesteak. They'll say, "I want a steak."
I asked him. He said a steakhouse.
Oh, a steakhouse. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I
I
asked
don't.
him.
Ruth Crisp.
Oh yeah, you big money, baby, Kyle Barber money.
I mean, you can get those anywhere. Well, not anywhere, but that's obviously a chain. I don't know. I have no idea. That'd be a good question for Ryan. Tune in on
Yeah.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
He'll probably have some good suggestions to get a good.
Justin, are you going to take us out?
In Philly, I damn sure don't. I've never been to Philly, so I couldn't tell you a damn
It
thing.
is a great. Oh my God, it is a great. It's very underrated. There's so much. There is a lot to do in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I've kind of wondered why there's not a bowl game there. Now that we've, the Northeast host bowls, New York City, Boston. Why is there not a bowl game in Philadelphia?
That is a great, Kyle. That is a great point because I'm telling you guys, Stevie and Johnny, have y'all been to Philly?
No.
Oh yeah, I have.
How much Kyle, as much as he loves history, Kyle would love, and I'm assuming Stevie does too, but the history alone of all the, the stuff for the Constitution Hall, like you talk about the Liberty Bell, there's so much to do there.
I'm not a very well traveled person. So let's see. I can probably I've never been to Philadelphia. I've never been to New York City, never been to Miami, never been to Atlanta. Never been to Memphis, never been to Nashville. That's a lie. I have been to Nashville. But I've been to Illinois, all over Illinois, Indiana. It's kind of weird the places I have been and haven't been.
All right, here you go. How about this? Robert's got it. Robert Dedrick's been great tonight, as all you guys have been. The Freedom Bowl. I love it. I love it.
You know what they could call it? The Liberty Bowl. That'd be a neat name. Actually, Liberty Bowl was originally in Philadelphia, I believe. And
Waffle House. Oh, thank you, Brad. Waffle House has a great steak.
There you go, Brad.
Hey, Dave. According to Yelp, the best steakhouse in Philadelphia is the Butcher and the Singer, but it's got $5 signs. No, I've never seen $5. Normally, like 40 max. This is a $5 sign restaurant, so I'm sure it's good, but you probably want to pass on that one.
Greg says Sullivan's Steakhouse in Philly, so we'll ask Ryan on Wednesday night, and then Justin Butt says Urban Farmer.
I know of a good Italian place in Philly. It's called Rocky's Place.
I was ready to say that would be my shit. Adrian's.
Was that the name of it?
Adrian's, yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's Rocky Balboa, right? And
that's what they should name the bowl, the Italian Stallion Bowl.
Oh,
there you go. The Rocky Bowl.
Rocky Bowl.
Kenneth Maynard says the Cheesesteak Bowl.
The Cheesesteak Bowl. All right, so we're naming what we would call the bowl.
What's the one? The Pop-Tart Bowl in Charlotte?
How about the
mayonnaise?
Now this is I don't mind that. How about the you could get Pat's and Geno's to sponsor it and call it the Pat's vs. Geno's Bowl and have one team represent Pat's and one team represent Geno's.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then have a cheesesteak eating competition before the game, and
that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm a genius.
Oh, that's why we have you on the show.
That's right.
Oh, here you go. Kenneth has a great idea for the Wake Forest campus.
What?
The Krispy Kreme Bowl.
Winston-Salem for a bowl. Yeah, this is a serious thought. Now that we're just completely talking about nonsense. Has anybody ever, there's a bowl in Charlotte. Could Raleigh host a bowl? I mean, you got a bowl in Montgomery. Yeah, I don't. Raleigh's got a lot of museums.
They got a lot of stuff.
You could schedule it. Make sure the Hurricanes have a home game.
Yeah.
Around that bowl game. There's certainly enough stadiums in the area between, Carter, Finley, and Wallace Wade and Keenan. I was just wondering if that's ever been a thought given to Raleigh hosting a bowl.
I feel like, Kyle, Raleigh would be better than a lot of ones that are already on the docket.
Yeah, like
Very true.
Montgomery, or not that I've never been to Montgomery, so I shouldn't really say that. But I feel like Raleigh's a better city than Montgomery.
I tell you what,
We just lost our viewership in Montgomery.
the Birmingham was great in 22. That was so
By
much.
the way, the American has a tie with the Montgomery Bowl this year.
All right, here you go. For Robert says for Philadelphia, the Balboa Bowl.
Actually, that sounds good. The Balboa
That
Bowl.
does sound good.
Yeah. And Kenneth says,
I'm just going to go ahead and make this statement, by the way, since we were just talking shit about Montgomery and making fun of it, and the American has a tie with them. How much you would have bet we end up in the bowl in Montgomery?
Hey, Kyle, you could eat your crow with Montgomery.
Yeah.
The Red Hat Bowl in Raleigh. I like that. That's a cool name.
Now, can somebody please explain to me, because I know there's Red Hat Amphitheater and I know the Red Hat Society. What the frig does Red Hats have to do with the city of Raleigh?
Because Red Hat is a software company that started in Raleigh, and they're nationwide.
Okay.
So
the Red Hat Society has nothing to do with it, but that is why that is Red Hat Amphitheater is now software.
Yeah.
You thought the Red Hats made a lot of money where they could get their own amphitheater.
I had no idea. I thought maybe it was a thing. It was, I don't know.
Yeah. They've been around for a good while, but they've nationally, I would say, Stevie, the last 10 years or more, 15.
Yeah, at least.
Has Red Hat been around longer than Acorns? Because there you go, the Acorn Bowl. They put it on their jersey.
The city of Oaks.
Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, and they also
the Oak Bowl,
the city of Oaks.
The Oak Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're undefeated wearing the Acorn jerseys, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
there's still hope for the barbecue bowl.
Yeah.
Stevie, you don't know about the barbecue bowl?
Dowdy Ficklin.
Yeah, somebody had the genius idea. There you go.
Yeah.
Somebody had the genius. Somebody had the genius idea. No, somebody really. I don't know who it was. I don't.
He was the CEO of it and was on pirate radio.
Yeah, he was going to put a bowl in Greenville, which makes about as much sense as I don't know, putting a bowl in. I love Greenville, and I love East Carolina. But if you don't love, besides it just being a cool college town, what the hell is there to do in Greenville?
Here you go. Wait a minute. We got one. I like the Bojangles Bowl. It's bow time, baby. I love it, Philip.
Honestly, I would put a bowl in Boone before I'd put a bowl in Greenville. You could go skiing up there in the winter. Yeah,
not only that, but it's like you said, Kyle, it's exactly right. Like it needs to be, if it's a bowl, a destination. Like when we were up against Myrtle Beach and was it Chicago? There was like 2 or 3 others that
I think Greenville was never really considered.
I know, but
bowl needs to be a destination. Absolutely, like Annapolis was fun. If you didn't go to that, you missed out. It was a fun trip. So yeah, it needs to be a tourist town or a big city, and Greenville is neither. So
let's build a stadium in LaGrange and call it the Sports Objective Bowl.
I'll call it the Cal from LaGrange Bowl.
Yeah.
Other cities, Charleston. There was talk of them hosting a bowl. That would be a great spot for a bowl game.
They have a lot of great restaurants, man. Oh my goodness.
We could annex Little Washington, and then we'd have waterfront. But that's, I guess, Beaufort County. That's a completely different county.
Now here's what I have thought about, but it's winter, so it really didn't work. It's like you do an Outer Banks Bowl and then play the bowl in Greenville, but there's really nothing to do with the Outer Banks in the wintertime.
I love
another city I thought that would be good for a bowl, Smoky Mountain Bowl, Knoxville.
Oh yes, that's a great idea because you got. What about like all that area there with Gatlinburg and all that?
Yeah, the whole area from Knoxville over to Gatlinburg. It'd be a great area for a bowl.
If we get all these bowl games, every team in college football will be playing on a bowl.
Well,
yeah, you're right. Well, we're just throwing out suggestions for different cities.
We're just having fun, yeah. Kenny says G Vegas has great bars. Just ask the students. Yeah, we're not saying that.
Yeah, but it's just another college town. There's nothing. There's nothing. We all love Greenville. It's just there's so many college towns in America that would fit that criteria.
Here's the problem with Greenville, and it's not but I know this for a fact. The problem with Greenville is we don't have if you're looking at a non-sexy topic, we don't
major airport.
We don't have the airport, and also the We don't have enough hotel rooms.
That's not. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
we
not.
don't.
We don't. But
Does
here's
Penn State have an airport? I'm not aware that they do.
no, but
I mean,
it holds back. It holds back Eastern North Carolina as a whole. The ECU football aside, not having a major airport in the eastern part of the state, a regional airport holds Eastern North Carolina back.
yeah. Okay.
Here you go. We got another name. Thank you, Brad. The Waffle House Bowl. Scattered, smothered, and covered, baby.
Well, we couldn't play that till after midnight, could we?
That's a good point.
How about the Cheese Biscuit Bowl or Biscuitville Bowl or Cheese Biscuit Bowl?
Oh, I like
Biscuitville Bowl.
I do like Biscuitville. That is a great place.
We got two of them in Greenville.
Yes, we do.
We have one in Kansas, but the hotel problem for Greenville, just in general.
I'm sorry, Kenny. I apologize.
What was that?
I called it Little Washington. He's calling it. I should have called it Original Washington.
1774.
That's what I've always called Little Washington.
It's friggin' Little Washington. I ain't original Washington. Little Washington, little bitty Washington, tiny little Washington.
Wow.
But I mean, look at
It's no Jason.
nah, for sure. Hey, we're the original Jason. I'm kidding. I'm just messing with you. And everybody else that insists on saying Little Washington, or excuse me, Original Washington. I was going to say about the hotel situation in Greenville. While yeah, we do need more hotels in Greenville, particularly for home games on Saturday, not so much on Thursday. Kinston has hotels. Wilson has hotels. Williamston has hotels. The original Washington has hotels. I mean, so it ain't like all these places are within a half hour of Greenville. It ain't like you have to stay right in Greenville. So that's why when people say Greenville don't have enough hotels, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's true, but there's plenty of places around Greenville you can stay.
No question. And I mean, I know I was just saying that's going to be one of the things that I even think I think the airport is good enough, but
the airport is not good enough. The airport is holding back Eastern North Carolina as a whole. That's a hot top for me. We can get Alan Thomas up here. We'll have a discussion about this. Greenville, in my opinion, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, all these little podunk airports need to shut down. Everybody needs to come together and put a regional airport. The infrastructure is in Kinston with the Global Transport. Put a regional airport in Kinston that covers all of Eastern North Carolina, where you have direct flights out of Eastern North Carolina to major hubs, Atlanta, Nashville, New York City, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And just all these little podunk, nobody wants to give up their own airport in these little towns where they're one flight to Charlotte a day. And just concentrate all those little airports on private flights and have one big regional airport for Eastern North Carolina. And Kinston would be the place to put it because the infrastructure is there for it. And it would help not only ECU, but the economy in the East dramatically. Look, Matt Semenza, one of the biggest reasons his daughter didn't consider ECU seriously and went to South Carolina was because he wanted her to be able to fly back and forth from home easy. And now she's at, USC. If you don't mind me telling that on the air, but there's other, students that affects, and it also hurts the growth of Eastern North Carolina as a whole. If we had a regional airport, it would help Eastern North Carolina from Greenville to Jacksonville significantly.
You're spot on that. I agree with you 1,000% on that. One of the reasons is not to get on off topic, but other to say that the legislators do not care about us, and I don't care what party they're with, the General Assembly.
Yeah, Alan Thomas tried to get that done with the Global Transport when he was running it at one point. He's still involved in aviation, and all that kind of stuff, tourism, et cetera. But that was something he tried to get done at one point, and it just didn't happen. And say again.
Sorry, I was just going to add to your point, Kyle. They don't, for some reason, if you take away tourism and vacations, you can. I got into debate on this on Facebook, and I didn't mean for it to get as bad as it was, but about East Carolina and Eastern North Carolina. And the topic was about one of our friends, and I'll tell you, I'll text you, Kyle, so you understand. I don't want But basically, the person brought up about how East Carolina has failed Eastern North Carolina, and I disagree with
I know the friend you're talking about. I saw the post. I don't
that.
think it's on the. I don't think it's on the back of East Carolina to have to do everything for Eastern North Carolina. I think in many ways Eastern North Carolina has failed East Carolina. I think if you took away ECU from Eastern North Carolina,
Oh my,
you
that's
really you look at how what the bad shape it would be, and there
Yeah.
would be no regional hospital, there would be no ECU Health, there would be nothing. I mean, outside of the military towns like Jacksonville and Goldsboro, the rest of Eastern and in tourist towns like New Bern, there's nothing else. So I don't think ECU's failed Eastern North Carolina at all. I think it could do better, but I think Eastern North Carolina could do a lot of other things, and the state of North Carolina and legislation could do a lot of other things to help the East. But to put it all on the shoulders of ECU to rise, or to not rise, but to put it all on the shoulders of
City on the
ECU
rise.
to bring Eastern North Carolina up is a little unfair. I mean, it's
well here.
like I say, just think if it wasn't here, how bad of a shape the eastern part of the state would be from an economy standpoint, from an education opportunity standpoint, from a healthcare standpoint. I mean, you you look right now at Greenville, and the hospital. Dave can speak about this better than I can, but it's overran because unless you're going to go to Raleigh, everybody in Eastern North Carolina goes to ECU. If you need anything major done, you go to ECU Health. You go to Physicians East.
Yeah, we're
Um,
the only level 1 trauma center east of I-95.
yeah,
And
Not only that, not only for the trauma center for ER type stuff, but the heart center for cancer. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go if you got cancer in Eastern North Carolina? If you don't want to go to Duke or Chapel Hill,
yeah,
are you going to go to Kinston, to UNC Lenore? Are you going to go to UNC Wayne and Goldsboro? Or are you going to go? I mean, so no, ECU. I think, and I know the person you're speaking of, and I respect him, and I like that that person demands a lot and expects a lot.
right.
So I have no problem with him for that. But I don't think it's completely fair to say that ECU has failed Eastern North Carolina.
And the other sidebar on that too is that I think our acceptance rate is like 70%. Well, here's my thing.
Nah, it's actually higher than that.
Well, it may be, but let me just say this.
Dude, I think it's like 89%.
Well, it may be, but look, here's the way I feel about it.
Opportunities.
Give that person an opportunity. If they fail and they don't make it, they don't make it.
I agree with
We
you.
are not. You cannot. It's apples and oranges to try to pretend that like the Ivy League. Our mission is look at who we are. Speaking of Eastern North Carolina, so let's go
Our
with
mission
that.
statement is to serve.
Right. So like you have, let's say that we have 10% or 20%. Can you imagine what Eastern North Carolina would be like if?
Well, you can't go to that kind of. I think more like a 60 to 70% admission rate is what people want. I think we are up to like 89%. Somebody can correct me on that if I'm wrong.
There's a reason, and there's a reason for that, and I'll tell you what it is. So you guys can help me out on this.
Well, I'm gonna guess a lot of that is probably because being in rural Eastern North Carolina, that a lot of kids don't do well in school, and they want an opportunity to go to college. And some of them, even though they didn't do well in school, once they get in college, excel. I don't know what you were going to say, but that's kind of my thought on it.
No, that's a good point. I was just going to simply say, guys, that basically before COVID, there was a baby bust, and I don't know the numbers. Johnny, you're the stats guy. COVID caused a minor, like not a major baby boom, but a minor baby boom for obvious reasons. And so preparing, not to get too deep in the details, but what's happened is if you look at the number of students we have, East Carolina did a good job of distance learning. They were way ahead of everybody else. They're number one in the state. And that's a fact for distance learning because they saw that distance learning was going to be huge. So basically, if you look at the number of students, my point is the number of students we have right now is virtually the same as what I had, maybe a little bit north of 18,000, 20,000. I don't know the exact numbers, but the distance learning is where the 30,000 students come in. The 10, 12,000 kids are in that range, or older adults like myself that have to go back to school. They don't even go on the Greenville campus. So that's the thing, is that there's a lot of people that, and we have, as a business standpoint, if we had a smaller acceptance rate, East Carolina would go under. So you have to understand there's a lot of reasons why we need to have a higher acceptance rate. I have no issues with that. I think the whole ACT, SAT thing, not to get
Yeah,
off.
according to ChatGPT, our acceptance rate is 89%.
Okay,
So
great. I have no issues with that. If they fail, if you let them in, give them an opportunity. If they fail and don't make it, they don't make it. But at least you gave them a chance, and a lot of other schools won't. And that's why our fan base is a lot higher than a lot of them, because we have more graduates.
yeah,
Over 20,000.
yeah, I'd like to compare it to say App State and Charlotte and see where we land compared to them.
Charlotte has roughly about the same. As they've grown a lot. Appalachian State has grown a lot, and I tell you, another Wilmington's grown a lot. And then they're doing the things. If you're looking for a school, really quick, Elizabeth City State, Fayetteville State, and Western Carolina have that where it's like next to nothing for. They're trying to improve the enrollment. I think it's like $500.
According to ChatGPT, they had it right down to the number for them. So you might as well just say 89%. It said Appalachian's admissions rate is 88.6. So that's
Okay.
so this is pretty much exactly the same as ours. And let me check Charlotte.
How about this? Kenny's got some great points here. Kenneth Maynard, rather. He says, I hate to say this, but in my opinion, Elizabeth City State should be a satellite campus for ECU for that area of the East. And Kenneth also says, wish we had a satellite campus in Fayetteville, too, for the Army and their families. I definitely, the Elizabeth City State.
Charlotte is slightly lower than ECU and App. It's 80%.
Okay. But it's still, again, there's a reason why the acceptance rates are high. It's a business. You need to get as many kids in there. And when they had a baby bust before, like eventually it'll work its way out. But right now, the people at ECU are having to plan for.
Well, if you look at who we should be, we're not UNC. There's no need to pretend like we are. So if you look at who we should be, who I look at, we have a medical school, so maybe that's where some people were different from App, and Charlotte doesn't have a medical school, I don't think, do they? I don't think so.
No,
their big thing's law, I think. But
ECU, I got a text from one of our friends. ECU has the second most living graduates of any university in the state. That is correct.
So we should be around the same admissions rate as Charlotte and App, and we are. The only thing I would say is, I'd like to know what our med school admissions rate is. You definitely don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry to get into your med school. So I think maybe that's where some people that are doctors, for example, have a little bit of a problem with our admissions rate. So I could see that from that standpoint. But it does need to be, maybe if you do anything, maybe get it down to around Charlotte's level at 80%. But you don't want to do too much, you don't want to get too much lower, because East Carolina provides opportunities, and it provides opportunities for people in Eastern North Carolina, and obviously outside of Eastern North Carolina, but particularly in a relatively rural area, it provides opportunities, and the world's getting smaller. But me and Stevie talked about this, growing up, like me and Stevie did in northeastern North Carolina. Dave was originally from Durham, moved to northeastern North Carolina. Dave's world was a little bigger than mine and Stevie's growing up. Greenville was the big city. We didn't go to Raleigh.
Yes.
Stevie didn't go to Raleigh. Hell, Roanoke Rapids was the big city to Stevie sometimes.
And we live in Virginia.
Yeah. So I'm being serious, Dave. God damn it.
Richmond or Norfolk.
Oh, okay, I see. But so it was. The point being, there's while the world is getting smaller, and maybe kids in Eastern North Carolina that grow up kind of rural and poor go to Raleigh more than they did back when we were kids.
The infrastructure is better. I mean, you can get
exactly. Well, exactly. Yeah, growing up in Williamston, it was 2 hours as hard as you could go to get to Raleigh. And now where I live in LaGrange, which used
It's
to
an
be
hour and
about
a half for me.
yeah, I can be in Raleigh. Raleigh proper, hour and 10 minutes, but I can be in Garner and Clayton in 45, 50 minutes. So it's things have changed so much because of the infrastructure of the highways.
Yeah.
The last Sunday we made it back from Boone in 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Wow.
When we hit is it 76? You can get off 421, or excuse me, around Winston-Salem, we took 76 to 70, whatever you would take to go towards Ashboro, then hit 64, come up through Pittsboro. We went that way coming back.
Yeah, there's a new interstate. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
the train, you hit the Triangle Expressway
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah, so we did that.
I don't blame you. That
We're going to get that $12 toll bill in the mail, but that's all right.
I tell you what, though, it's worth it. I'll pay it.
We do. We lots of times now when we go to the mountains or Greensboro or Winston-Salem, we bypass
It's free.
a lot of that area going that way, and that area driving through Pittsboro, where Jordan Lake is, that's a really pretty area to drive through too.
Yes, it is. 64. If you're looking for like a great travel, accidentally one time I was in Charlotte and my GPS was so jacked up it put me on 64. I was
It took you that way through Ashboro before it was they actually had it as a cut through.
Yeah, it was great stuff. But anyway, I didn't mean to get off topic, guys.
No, you weren't really off topic, Dave, but I'd like to throw this in there as someone that did not grow up in Eastern North Carolina. I'm selfish. I do not want to see Eastern North Carolina expand. I don't want to see it become bigger. That's why I'm moving down there. I love the fact that in Greenville, I can drive 10 miles east, north, west, or south and be in farmland, either cotton or tobacco, soybean, whatever. And when I come down here, I never take 95. I take back roads every time. I've been on every back road in Eastern North Carolina, and towns like Scotland Neck, and they could use some revitalization. But Eastern North Carolina is a treasure, in my opinion. And I just want it to kind of stay this way. I know that's probably not possible, but I'm just tired living where I do now of all the development and progress. There's something to be said for peaceful back roads.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree and disagree at the same time, if that's possible. I like living in the country. I've only ever, well, that's not true. I lived in town in Kinston a couple times, but I live, Dave's into my house. I live out in the country off 903, with a bunch of farmland around me. I grew up in Williamston off 64 on a farm. So what I would say is I agree with you in terms of I like the rural areas saying rural, but our cities, places like Greenville, places like Wilson, places like Kinston, places like Goldsboro, places like Jacksonville, they are growing, and I'd like to see them grow at a higher rate. And I know what you will say is, well, if your cities grow, then just the surrounding areas will then grow. And yeah, that's true, but you need more opportunities. You need more job opportunities for people so they don't leave this area. And I don't want to see Greenville become Charlotte, but I would like maybe see Greenville become the size of Greensboro. I would like to see Kinston come to the size of Greenville. You take Jacksonville is growing at an astronomical rate. I don't know, Steve or JR, if you ever go that far south, but Jacksonville's growing at a huge rate. So is Greenville, but I don't know. That's kind of what I mean. I don't want to see us, and I don't think there's any risk of that. But you mentioned somewhere like Scotland Neck. I don't I think we got to worry about Scotland Neck becoming a boom town. But I would like to see some of our cities that have been trying to grow, like Kinston, like Goldsboro, like Greenville, like Jacksonville, like Wilson, Goldsboro, grow in a more positive way. Because I'll tell you, with somewhere like Goldsboro, it has grown, but it's also grown in a negative way. The crime rate in Goldsboro has gone up over the last few years significantly. There was a huge, thank God this is being cleared out some, but in 2023 and 2024, the homeless problem in Goldsboro had gotten out of hand. There was a huge homeless camp in Goldsboro that the city would do nothing about, and finally they shut it down. So I think some positive growth would be good. And because some of this is what's happening now is you got a lot of undesirable people moving into Eastern North Carolina, for lack of a better term.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. One of the things that Eastern North Carolina eventually, I'm not saying a huge population boom, so don't misunderstand me, but where are these people going to go? Our state is the third fastest growing state behind Florida and Texas. We're number 3. We are, 9 million people off the top of my head, and we are in population we're number 9, I believe, and eventually we'll be number 8.
Yeah, no, Eastern North Carolina will continue to go. Like I say, Greenville, Jacksonville, New Bern also are great examples of cities that are growing. I know here in LaGrange, there's been some growth. There's been some small businesses opening up. Somebody built recently right off 903, put a little cul-de-sac or neighborhood, whatever you want to call it, with like 6 brand new houses they just built up that are being sold relatively fast. So, I mean, it is growing, and you're right. As people move into, your Charlottes, your Raleighs, your Wilmingtons, these areas, they're going to spread out, and there's parts of the East that will grow, like Greenville and the before mentioned Jacksonville and New Bern. But like to see some more positive growth, and I live in between the two for Goldsboro and Kinston. And is this becoming community focused, Stevie? Would you like to talk about the population growth of northeastern North Carolina?
It's
Particularly,
PBS.
yeah, yeah. You're listening to PRN.
Oh, good
Performance
Lord.
Racing Network.
Yeah. And now we were going, and now it is time for
Oh,
what's
Deep
it?
Thoughts by Jack Handy.
that's right. Matt says lack of sophisticated airport is killing ECU.
Matt, I just talked about that at nauseum about 15 minutes ago. And I not only is it hurting ECU, it's hurting Eastern North Carolina as a whole. It's something that needs to be addressed, and the answer lies in Kinston. It really does.
They have the runway space.
They have their runway space. They have the land to build more for the airport. They have built bypasses and roads all around that area for the Global Trans Park to make it happen. And when the Global Trans Park, I was in school when the Global Trans Park became a thing in the early 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, in Lenore County. And they projected, this is in 93, they projected by the year 2015, Kinston would have as much business as Charlotte did in 1993. I don't think we quite did it.
No. It's because, again, if they put, I'll say this because I'm originally from Durham, and Research Triangle Park is one of the best areas in the whole country.
If they put half of that effort into the Global Trans Park, or I don't even care about the Global Trans Park at this point. At any point, I'd like to see it just become a regional airport.
I
Turn
agree.
that into a regional airport, close down, or make all these little small airports for private planes. That would help grow business in places like places like Greenville, and it would help ECU. It would help grow business in places like Greenville, New Bern, and Jacksonville. And for Kinston, the airport itself would just would be enough industry and jobs. And there is an Amazon. Kinston's had some growth. The first Amazon distribution center in Eastern North Carolina was in Kinston. So
You've got one in Scarborough.
yeah, there's one in Jacksonville now also, but the first one was in Kinston.
That's correct. Yeah, I agree with you. And Matt, maybe you can find a way to do this airport, because I really want Chase to play baseball for the Pirates and have Matt in the neighborhood with Johnny.
Yeah. Hey, is PGV not expandable? Like, is that not?
The Tar River makes it.
It's
not landlocked; it's waterlocked.
Yeah,
Okay.
They actually expanded, Johnny, where Highway 33. They moved Highway 33. They've done, in my opinion,
That's the limit. They're at their limit.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think there's any expansion.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, Kinston's the answer. Kinston's the answer to that for all of Eastern North Carolina, and that's not because I live in LaGrange. It's just the truth. Alan Thomas tried to make that happen. Is somebody watching pornography in the background? What am I hearing?
It's my daughter.
I'm sorry. God almighty.
Yeah, thanks.
You might want to buffer that answer a little bit, Dave. But anyway, Anyway,
I meant that she was talking. She's talking.
yes, okay, I know, but the now I've completely lost my train of thought. I live in Eastern North Carolina, and I know what Alan Thomas tried to do with the airport in Kinston, and unfortunately, he couldn't get it done. He couldn't get the support behind him.
Yeah, Norm says the passenger terminal in Kinston is being destroyed. I don't know what he means by that, but
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that either, Norm. But uh, there's still plenty of place to they can
oh man, you could that area is so big around the transport and all that
yes
they could put a whole bunch of terminals.
you could build RDU there easily. So
He said taken apart. I don't know what he means by that, but we'll figure that out. What that means, but
maybe he means they're rebuilding it. I don't know. I mean,
disassembled, Norm. Okay, disassembled. I don't know, but maybe yeah.
It's irregardless because that's not what it would be. You know, if they put a regional airport in Kinston, it would be building around what's there. Not you wouldn't use the current, terminal. Right. You would have multiple terminals, but
because you would have like if it's Southwest, American, Delta, they would have all the, if you make it like you said, Kyle, if you make it like when we have the hospital, we are the hospital for Eastern North Carolina. And the same thing for Kinston, they could have their own airport.
Yeah, make it the airport for Eastern North Carolina, which would help ECU Health. Because right now, unless you're going to fly into Charlotte and then take a commuter flight to Greenville, you got to fly into Raleigh
and drive.
So, yep. So.
Yeah.
Can we get Kyle a job in local government? He's got all the answers. And I'm not saying that to be like trying to be funny or anything. You do have a lot of great ideas, and someone should start listening to you.
Hey, here's
I appreciate that, JR, but they don't. I mean, they won't even listen to Alan Thomas on the airport idea. I didn't come up with that.
Hey, by the way, Robert Dedrick has a great topic. The buyouts for coaches that have been fired. Look at this, guys. Look at this number. Johnny, you'll appreciate this. 169.8 million in coaches buyouts this year so far. And he's right. It's not even this last week of October, not even November yet.
Yeah. That might as well be 3 trillion. I mean, that number is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at North Carolina played a competitive game, but they lost another game with their experiment, the Chapel Bill. I wonder how many T-shirts you think they've sold with Chapel Bill? He trademarked that.
The defense is getting better, but they can't score on anybody. I actually called that yesterday. It almost happened. I wasn't cheering for North Carolina, but for some reason, I had a feeling they were going to upset UVA, and it almost happened. I do think they're getting better, at least on the defensive side of the ball. But they've got no offense. But for all the hype that was put into it, all the money they spent, they're not getting the return on investment. It'll be interesting to see if there's a year 2. I guess it's probably going to depend on how year 1 closes out. But I am a little surprised, and I think they're going to have to win a game before too long. But I really thought the team would. I thought it would get worse. I thought the team would quit, and he'd lose the team. But I will say they do seem to be being more competitive the last couple of weeks against UVA and Cal.
Napier doesn't need a coach, but he'll be a great fit at UAB. Absolutely, Kenneth. I agree with that for sure. And I don't know if Matt Simmons, have you guys heard about candidates for Florida? I mean, we talked to now LSU, but would you take, I think we talked about that before, the James Franklin, Dabo, there's a few that could go to Florida.
Yeah, I don't know.
James Franklin needs to go to Virginia Tech. There's no big game. They're not playing any game that, is going to be the high pressure big game that he's used to playing.
That's not a bad idea.
He could do well there, I feel. He's not done coaching. There's no way he's done coaching. And, Virginia Tech hired his assistant, that guy, Brent Pry. He didn't work out. So let's go to the top.
I wonder if, I don't think Philip Montgomery's done a good job as interim coach at UVA at Virginia Tech. I don't think he'll get an opportunity unless they win out to be the head coach. But he did a good job at Tulsa at times. Tulsa, so I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't work this interim coach at Virginia Tech into another so-called Group of 5 job. I'd be willing to. That might not be a bad fit for UAB. Philip Montgomery to UAB.
James Franklin is only 53. So
There you go.
Yep.
He's
I expect
what,
James
10
Franklin
years
will take
younger than Kurt Signetti.
I would expect he'll take a year off.
there's no way. Let me just say this, and I agree with you, Norm. There's no way in the world Lane Kiffin is going to go to Florida. They gave him a ridiculous. What was that? Speaking
Boy,
of,
I don't know about that, Dave. And I'll tell you why.
Now,
Sometimes you want to get out before you get fired.
but hey, Kyle, here's something to consider. His son is a starting quarterback at Oxford High School. He's a sophomore. He's already publicly said, I don't care what happens with my dad. I'm staying here. This is my team. I'm going to be in Oxford High School. I want to graduate here. So that's pretty strong, persuasion. If you're Lane Kiffin, like, why do you want to make your son miserable and pull him into Florida when apparently he's pretty good too?
well, that's the thing, is he could actually play there for the home team if he's good enough.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't let my son make my decisions.
I realize, but still, that's a family is a big thing.
It is.
I feel like Lane's bought into the whole Mississippi concept. Like,
He's the big dog. He likes being the big dog.
Oh, Lane, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. You said Oxford High School, and it still didn't register in my brain. Lane's not in trouble getting fired at Ole Miss. I'm sorry. For some reason, when you say Lane Kiffin, my mind went Lincoln Riley.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
makes
so I was never. I don't know why. And even you said Oxford High School, I was like, well, Oxford must be a hell of a school in LA. But I was thinking Lane Kiffin, but yeah, I was thinking, well, Lane Kiffin's making a lot of money at USC, but you might want to get out of there before he gets fired and head to Florida. I was wondering why Florida wanted him right now, but I have no idea why when you said Lane Kiffin, I went Lincoln Riley. But anyway, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Kenneth says if Summerall leaves Tulane, Napier will be there too with the Louisiana ties.
No way.
I don't see that happening.
No way. I think UAB. I think UAB, but there's no way Tulane would hire him. Tulane's too much of an upswing. I don't see them doing a retread. I see them going after. Go ahead.
Was that Kenneth Maynard that made that comment again?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, he's right on, because there's no way John Summerall doesn't get hired by a bigger program. I mean, unless.
Oh, I agree with that. I just don't see that Napier.
Oh no, I know, Kyle. You were rejecting the Napier, and that probably wouldn't be. I don't think Tulane would go there. But no, as far as Summerall's concerned, I do feel like he's moving on probably.
I think there'll be too many opportunities. I wonder if LSU will call him right there in Louisiana.
I would have him on my short list. He's a good coach.
Yeah, he's a great coach. He's going to get opportunities. Who Tulane would hire? I don't know. That guy, I cannot think of his name right now. The guy that was at Marshall, left for Southern Miss. He's doing a hell of a job here.
Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wanted our job. I don't know if people realize that when we fired Houston. He reached out to us about our job before Blake got it, and he was somebody that pursued our job. He just wanted out of Huntington. Him and the AD hated each other, and the fan base really didn't like him. All he did was win the Sun Belt,
Yep.
and it's going to come down to them and Troy for the West this year. So he's probably going to be playing for the Sun Belt Conference Championship again. So he's somebody, to my point, that Tulane might look at.
I agree, Kyle. Hey, real quick, I just want to say that my nephew, he transferred 3 times. He played at Oregon, and then he went to Virginia Tech. Then he went to San Diego State. He was recruited by a lot of people, and he initially agreed to go to Marshall. But then when he visited Huntington, he's like, I just can't do it. But he said by far his favorite coach, and a guy that he still texts with him, was the guy that left Marshall to go down to Southern Miss. He's just a good guy. Like, nobody's ever said anything bad about him.
Amazing recruiter. Kids like him. And not only is he an amazing recruiter, he can work the portal like nobody's business. He took half his football team from Marshall with him to Huntington, and the reason Southern Miss turned around so fast is it literally took 20-some players from Marshall, and then I think 12 players from Utah State, because they got Blake Anderson as their offensive coordinator. So
Craig said, "I'm just grateful we aren't looking for a new coach. That entire process is awful."
Yeah,
Blake
yeah.
has
That's well. Now, what if we went out and then Blake gets a Power 5 job, Power 4
Hey,
job?
he could be. Well, check this out, guys. He's 9-4, as we talked about, second all time with the first 13 games of his career, and so that would mean that he would be 14-3.
Yeah, I think I don't. First of all, I don't think we're going to win out, but I hope we do. But let's say we go 8-4, 7-5, something like that, and then win our ball game, have a eight or 9 win season. I think he would have to do that 2 years in a row to really start becoming a serious candidate for a Power 4 job. But you know, first things first, Temple's up next, and that's really the only game that matters right now. And
What about Warren?
this is a huge game. This is a huge game Saturday in Philadelphia. I really wish this was in Greenville. I don't know what was just put on the screen there.
I was trying to go to Doran. Might be on his way out state.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he is. He might save his job. You know, they started the season off early. They look like they were going to have a great season and kind of have gone south. But you know, I wonder who the Wolfpack would go after.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. Is Stevie with that fan base? Like, I'm not a fan of Doran at all, but they want to win like 10, 12 games a year, and they haven't won. Guys, I was in first grade the last time they won an ACC championship, 1979. Same with you, Stevie.
Yeah. What was it? Ted Brown was the running back at NC
Yes.
State team.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Wow. I hadn't heard that
He was
name
good.
a long time.
Yeah, that's been a while.
But anyway, let's move on let's talk about Temple and get back on track about our show. Matt says thoughts on the line 4.5. My guess is would have been. I agree with you, Matt. 1.5 either way.
Vegas said last for Vegas. Chad GTP said last week their analytics said we'd be based on last week 2.5 points, and they only beat Tulsa by 1. They're 6.5 point favorite. So it doesn't surprise me that we're a 4.5. I think we actually opened at 3 at most places and went up to 4.5. So I don't know what to make of that line. I think it's a fair line. I think when you really look at things, and this is, we beat Army handily, who's a good football team. We beat
Tulsa.
We beat Coastal. We shut out Coastal, who's ended up having a decent season. And who would have thought that?
Yeah.
You know, they're 4-3.
The only bad luck we had was the state game.
State's the worst team we lost to. BYU's good. Tulane's good.
They're like, what is it, number 10?
And when at the time, NC State was playing really good football. They beat UVA, the very next week. So I think, you look at Temple, their best wins over UTSA in Philly, which was a very good win. But, I think 4.5 is fair. This game is going to be close. This is something that bothers me. We have not won a close ball game. Neither had Temple until this past week. Temple found a way to win a close game. They won 1 by 1. So that bothers me a little because this is going to be a close game. We have got to find a way to win a close ball game. And we got to find a way to do it on the road. Because, maybe I'm wrong and we'll beat Temple by, 10 or more. But I got a feeling this is going to be a one-score game and come down to the end. And we're going to have to find a way to win a close ball game.
I agree, Kyle. Hey, Matt, I'm glad that you posted those numbers for your personal opinion, because I was feeling foolish because last week, they asked, hey, what do you think the line is going to be? I said, pick 'em or Temple -1, because I felt like that was before the Tulsa game, but that's what I felt like it should be. So when 4.5 came out, I felt, like, wow, I'm really out of touch. But, I respect your opinion and you feel the same way I do. So I think we're probably on the right side of that, Matt.
Hey, guys, Kenneth said something funny. Doran is the dollar store James Franklin of the ACC. Can't win the big games. The only difference is Penn State won a conference title and made the playoffs.
I do want to say this about Temple. We are more talented than Temple, and it's not even close. But Temple plays more disciplined football than we do.
That's the key.
And this is not a job. This is not a knock on Blake Harrell and the coaching staff, but they are a better coach football team than we are. Or let me say this: they have bought into every aspect of their coaching more than we have. They are a very disciplined football team that don't beat themselves, and their quarterback he's got to have an IQ of like 150. He's extremely smart, but as a football team, as he doesn't have the arm talent that Hauser does, and they're not as talented of a football team overall as we are. But as East Carolina has shown many times over the years, when we've upset teams like Miami, the more talented football team does not always win. Did you say play down? No, it's not playing down. Look, Temple and us are equal. It's just
I'm talking about. I know. I'm talking about in general. Like whenever.
Oh no, that's not what I meant. I meant the more.
Okay.
Sometimes the sum of the parts are better than the parts themselves. They're East Carolina. We've never been more talented than a lot of the ACC teams we've upset. We were just a better team. And Temple is not as talented as us, but they may be a better team than us. We'll find out on Saturday in Philadelphia. I hope not. We haven't played a complete game yet. I don't think so. And we've been so damn herky jerky. And that'll be something in terms of our schedule. That'll be something else that'll be interesting to see. The rule of thumb, what matters more, being hot. Temple's hot. They've played well recent weeks. They beat UTSA. They took Navy to the wire. They just won in overtime against Tulsa. But are they going to be tired? They played 5 games in a row. We should be extremely well rested after 16 days off, but are we going to be rusty?
Yeah, Temple's attendance was 11,500-ish for the opening game. The highest attendance was 45,000. And Craig, that's because it was homecoming. It was number 8 Georgia Tech, but that was homecoming for Temple. That's why the stadium seats, thanks to Johnny, 64,000 for Lincoln Financial Field. But
I would think they're playing well. They're 5-3 now. 5-3. I think you'll get 30,000 people in there Saturday.
I hope so.
Pirate fans. We need a lot of Pirate fans. I hope I can see Matt Tremenzo on Saturday. That would be cool. But I understand with Chase playing baseball, I understand a lot of weekends are tied up.
Like I said, they should have attendance because if they win, they're 4-1 in the conference. So I mean, I would think if you're a Temple fan, you're not packing it in by any stretch of the imagination.
No, they should be as excited as they've been in years.
Yeah. Hey, the best thing that they ever did.
Bowl eligible Saturday. I mean, how about that? Hasn't even been brought up. Temple's playing for bowl eligibility Saturday.
Yeah, the best thing that ever happened to Temple football was E.J. Simon left and went to Fresno State because he's thrown 9 picks. Meanwhile,
E.J. Warner.
E.J. Warner. I'm sorry. Yeah, E.J. Warner. Meanwhile, Simon is, like we talked about earlier, 21 touchdowns, 0 picks. But you know who leads the nation in interceptions? It's funny. We have the least amount of interceptions with 0 with Simon. And then Veldkamp from FAU is throwing 11, which no one else has thrown more than 9. Veldkamp's throwing 11. So we get them the last game of the season. So hopefully we'll get it.
They're starting to, they started to play a little bit better football late September, early October, and it looks like they've started to playing the better teams, not playing as well. So I hope that continues. But guys, you and JR, Dave, have been going for over 2 hours. I've been going for an hour now. Stevie, I think, has fallen asleep.
I'm listening.
You listen. All right.
Yeah, the Steelers are playing right now. If this was a regular football podcast, I'd have some comments right now.
What's the score, Stevie?
Yeah, we'll talk about it, Stevie. I love the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
It's 16-14 Pittsburgh right now. But, God, let me tell you, and I'm not talking about the Pittsburgh game. I'm talking about there was a few other games today. The referees are god awful. There was just a call a few possessions ago. The nose guard for Green Bay was offsides. I mean, he was right up there across the line when the ball was snapped, and the referees didn't call anything. They huddled about it after the play and then said 4th down. Not only that, but like earlier today in the Philadelphia, the tush push. And I know there's going to be some Eagles fans out there that I'm gonna probably tick off right now. But the referees don't know how to officiate that play. I mean, when they call it forward progress on a 4th down play, and I'm saying it, Justin Butts, and the quarterback puts the ball out. He's still going forward, puts the ball out, trying to get the first down, and a defender rips the ball out of his hands, and they all of a sudden call forward progress and stopped. You really need to watch the replay of that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's so stupid, and it's been several plays like that, as Kyle was saying, in regular football this year.
That's not. I don't. That's not what I say. That's not what I say at all.
But now you say something else about the NFL. That's right. I'm sorry, I can't say that right now. I want it to be PG rated right now. But but yeah, it's horrible.
I have a question, Stevie.
Yes.
What's Jalen Warren doing? Because it's a bye week. I had to put him in at running back, and I'm hoping that he's doing something. Is he doing anything?
He actually has had a few good runs. He hadn't scored a touchdown, but he's done well on
How much time's left?
It is 6 minutes left in the third quarter. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to ECU baseball coach Jeff Palumbo, who is apparently watching on Instagram. Coach, is Cliff gonna be a candidate for the Tennessee job?
No. Well, I love Coach Palumbo a lot. In fact, if that ever happens, we don't want to lose Coach, obviously, but I hope Coach Palumbo would be considered and definitely get the job. I like him a lot, and not because he's watching, but he's a great. You want to talk about a recruiter? The recruiter and Jeff Palumbo always should be mentioned in the same sentence. I think highly of him off the field. He's a great guy. So. Thank you.
I agree, Dave. That's when they say Cliff might be interviewing for this job or that job. I'm like, I'm not worried. We got Jeff, we got now Coach Gautreau. But if Cliff interviews for another job, it's very discreet. He never puts it out there, and I respect him for that. But Coastal's coach, who I just don't like, Kevin Schnall, he interviewed with Tennessee and let everybody know it. It's like, what is that kind of message does that send to your team? Now, then he came back and said, well, this is the place for me. I'm staying. This is my home. Well, then why did you interview?
He's using it for a raise and for hype and recruiting.
Well, yeah, I know that. But keep it discreet. You could still let the AD know without, putting it out there.
I mean, you don't have a chance at the job also. If you don't have a chance at the job, I'm staying at Coastal. If he truly had a chance with the Tennessee
he took them to the national championship game this year.
I know. I'm not knocking him. I'm just simply saying usually that means that if you're taking yourself out of the running, you didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know about that situation. I do know we play Coastal 3-game series this year in baseball in Conway, so that should be fun.
Kenneth Maynard says our baseball program is getting great PR for recruiting William Savage in the World Series. That's been they've been talking about ECU on the broadcast, and it's so cool to do that. We have 2 ECU players, and I'm not anti-Dodgers, but they've won 2 in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, well, you got 2 Pirates on the Blue Jays. Let's go Jays.
Yeah, Blue Jays all the way, and I can't believe I'm saying I usually pull for an American.
Oh,
I'm in there with you.
Toronto, I understand, is a very cool. I have to check
that guy way, Kyle.
What's wrong with that? What's
that girl screaming over there?
What's that girl screaming about?
Pavarotti.
Nah, it's only me and Stevie would get this reference.
I don't know why I thought of that when he sang "Old Canada." Though.
I don't answer. I was trying to figure out what the hell does that have to do with the city of Baltimore? That dude.
Well, all right. So do you guys? I did have one more topic to talk about, Kyle. I saved it for you, and we alluded to it early in the show. So I want to say that just real quickly. I sent you guys an article.
I know what you thought about it, Stevie. You son of a bitch. You were thinking about the fat lady singing, and the fat man was singing. I get it now.
Well, about the committee is looking at expanding the playoff to 24 teams. I want to get your take on that, and only 2 group of 6 teams out of the 24.
So the highest rated group of 6 champion plus how would it be 2? How would that work?
Well, what they're doing is basically it's the Power Four would get four. I think the Power Four. I have to look at it again. The Power Four gets like obviously the automatic champion. They get like four. Is it four each for the Power Four?
Yeah, each conference.
Yeah,
That's
which is
16.
ridiculous. We should at least get if you
And
go.
then 2 for the group of 6. He, I say make it 3 or 4. I think 2 is a little unfair.
Yeah,
I don't want them to expand it. I think 12 is fine. I don't want to go to 24. At
Yeah,
I
that
agree,
point,
Kyle.
if at that point it goes 24, bowl games don't mean anything. And
exactly.
some people say, well, bowl games don't mean anything now. Well, tell me that when I'm running on the field at the military bowl. But they do mean something. And you go to 24. I think college football is unique in that we can have a playoff and you can still accomplish something without making the playoff. But if you go to 24, I guess you still have bowl games. I guess you can still have them, but I wouldn't go to 24. I think 12.
I
I
want
think
16.
I'd leave it. Let's do 12 a little while. I mean,
Yeah,
we've only
I
done it
agree.
1 year at 12, or is this the second year?
Second year.
The second
Yeah.
year 12. Let's do 12 a little longer. I don't. And if you're going to tell me they were going to go to 24 and give us,
Every
three
championship.
spots, 3 or 4 spots in the playoff, then, but just 2 out of 24, I don't think that's fair.
But think about this, guys. And this is what I've always wanted with 16, but even 24, they're not going to do it. So I know they're not going to do it. But you should have every conference champion represented and 14 at large if you're going to do it.
Somebody just cracked a cold beer.
I was gonna say,
That was for you.
JR.
What's that?
That was for you.
What's that?
Oh, was that Dave?
Dave, would you crack up in there, Dave? Let's see. You didn't crack a cold. But let's see. What soda is Dave drinking? I'm gonna guess. Don't put it on the air yet. Yeah, I'm gonna guess. Jeez. It's first Dave. Is it a 0 or a diet?
It's definitely diet.
So, but is it a 0 like Coke 0 or is it diet? I'm not asking you if it's Diet Coke or Coke 0. I'm asking you, has it got 0 in the name or diet in the name?
Diet in the name.
Diet Coke.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, I do
What
like.
do I win?
I do like the Mountain Dew Zero. I do like that.
But I'll tell you the best sugar-free soda out there, and I hadn't tried it until recently, and it's not even close. 7-Up Zero. 7-Up Zero is by far the best 0-calorie soda in the game.
I do love 7-Up, so that would probably.
I'm not even a huge fan of regular 7-Up. It's just there's 7-Up Zero. 7-Up. I like 7-Up just as good as I do Sprite. It's not like one of my favorites, but
Okay.
their 7-Up Zero tastes the closest to me to the regular soda of any of the 0-calorie sodas out there.
Wow.
It used to be Dr. Pepper Zero or Diet Dr. Pepper. I think 7-Up Zero gets it the closest to the regular soda.
How about this? Kenneth saying will be proposed to be the top 2 highest rated G6 teams, not champions. It could be 2 American teams in the playoff.
That's interesting. The 2 highest ranked G6 teams. That's interesting. I don't want to do that. Let's just leave it at 12.
12.
And somebody will say if it's at 24, it's all the same. They're doubling the amount of teams. They're going to get the same amount of teams in. Right now it's 1 out of 12. It would be 2 out of 24. Diet Sundrop is good. And I'll tell you another one when you can find it, and you can only find it in certain parts of North Carolina and South Carolina and Tennessee. Unfortunately, not Eastern North Carolina. Diet Cherry Sundrop is really good.
Oh, okay. They even have a Diet Cheer One.
Cheer 1 0. Cheer 1 0.
Cheer 1 0.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like Cheer One, but I would have to get the Cheer 1 0.
It's pretty good.
All right. So yeah, we'll have to talk. Go ahead.
I was just going to say to Kyle, 7-Up Zero. So we had a family gathering, and my niece, she was going to bring something. She's a little bit on the lazy side, so she brought some cupcakes. All she did was buy like this mix, a box of cake mix, and she poured
soda with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were good. I ate 3 of them.
You can do that with any cake mix. You can add soda to it instead of the oil and stuff, and make and make cakes with different flavored sodas.
I had
Yeah,
no idea. Well, she
yeah,
used,
the
she used the
internet.
7 Up
Yeah.
Zero. Yeah.
How
So
about
she made it
this?
sugar free. Why did she go sugar free? To be healthy? I mean, it's interesting that she went 7 Up Zero.
Yeah, probably. She's a young lady. She wants to, retain her figure. So she probably
Okay.
went to 0.
John White says Mountain Dew Code Red Zero if you can find it.
I would
And
imagine that would be good, and it was the same reason cherry lemon sundrop is good, and the same reason Cheer One Zero is good, is the cherry flavoring does really well with the zero sugar for some reason.
Kenneth Maynard says Mellow Yellow Zero.
Never seen Mellow Yellow Zero.
I neither. And Baja Blast Zero.
Have not tried Baja Blast Zero. I do like, one thing about Baja Blast, I prefer it so much more out of the fountain at Taco Bell than I do out of a can or a bottle.
All right, there you go. We have the soda objective now. So
I love soda. I wish I didn't, but I do.
I do too. That'll probably kill me. That's the one vice I'm working on so hard. Like to get. I'm not doing the sugary drinks, but man,
I do zero drinks at home, and then I'll do regular drinks when I go out.
Hey Kyle, I'm gonna say my favorite zero drink is something that I smashed one on one of the episodes of the Sports Objective. It sounded like a car crash, but I was drinking an Ale 8 Zero. Remember that? And the glass fell over. It sounded like a violent
It did.
collision.
Like a car
I
crash.
remember that. Yeah.
But I survived, and I'm still drinking it. That's it's hard to find though. I have to go to a place called Total Beverage.
Go ahead.
No, I have to go to a place called Total Wine. It used to be called Total Beverage, Total Wine. But I know that the Cracker Barrel has it.
Yes, Cracker Barrel's the only place I can ever find any L8 products, and it's a Kentucky-based soda, and it's good. It's not a ginger ale. It's not a ginger beer. It is a ginger citrus hybrid. So kind of think of between a ginger ale and a 7-Up.
Yeah.
So it's a good soda. We could just keep talking sodas for the rest of the night.
Yeah, we can.
We're going for 3 hours tonight.
Yeah,
we're gonna keep going.
Where does everybody feel about cherry Coke versus wild cherry Pepsi? I know where Stevie files on this. He's a big wild cherry Pepsi fan.
That actually is a good soda.
I've tried to stop drinking like soft drinks, but yeah, I had and when I did actually stop, that wild cherry Pepsi was what got me hooked back on it for a while again. But now I'm back off of that. So
Kenneth Maynard says Mellow Yellow Zero is at Wendy's
in Eastern North Carolina, though. I'm not sure about that, Kenneth. I'm not sure where you live.
I think he's in Fayetteville.
Okay, I don't know that our Wendy's in like Greenville, Kinston areas. So, cherry Pepsi Zero is pretty good. Speaking of cherry Pepsi, Stevie, that's not a bad 0-calorie soda. My wife's a big fan of Sunkist Zero.
You got the warehouse stocked.
Oh God, yeah, that's Stevie knows about that. Yeah, Jessica seems to think we can't just have 1 or 2 flavors of diet sodas to choose from. We have to have 15,000. And I took a picture one day at Jessica's zenith of buying different sodas, and it looked like Stevie couldn't believe it. He thought I was exaggerating. It literally looked like the back room at a gas station.
I know that for a fact.
Okay, Kyle, can I ask Jessica's opinion or your opinion on? There's 2 that I haven't tried yet, but I was kind of tempted.
Sure.
The Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. The regular or the zero, Jr.
I go 0.
Okay. I like it, but I'm weird with Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero. I like to I'll buy a 12-pack every now and then. And I like to drink it at night. I like to drink it late at night and sip it, kind of to relax with. It's got a overpowering syrupy blackberry taste to it. It's not something you want to chug on a hot day, but I do like it. And I like to drink it like this time of night right now, just kind of sitting back and relaxing with it. I know it sounds like I'm talking about a wine or something, but
are you going to have a Guinness? I mean,
yeah, I'm just telling you, it just works. Yes, I do like it, Stevie or Jr. But I can tell you this: it ain't for everybody. I bet you. I can see you hating it, or I can see you liking it.
No. I like different. And then my final one was when Coke comes out with crazy, Stardust or Coke Zero's crazy,
Yeah.
I've never tried any of them. Have you? Do those work?
Yeah,
some of them do. There was one I liked. There was one that was just god awful. and I can't remember which one's which, but one of them won't. But one of my favorite flavors of Coke in recent history, and it was only sold at Target. It was maybe 2018, 2019. It was in a glass bottle. It was like Coke Georgia Peach.
Oh, I've had that. That's
It,
awesome. Yeah, I've
yeah,
had
it's really good. It's really good. And I haven't seen. I don't know if it's still being made, but I can only find it at Target. But the Dr Pepper Blackberry Zero. Yeah, go for it. Give it a try.
All right.
I think you'll like it.
Little Debbie discuss. Is that like just the Debbie snack cakes?
He wants to.
Yeah.
What's your favorite little? Well, it's Christmas
Good
tree.
Lord, are we
It's
gonna?
It's Christmas tree cake season, which I think are the most overrated snack cakes on the planet.
The fudge rounds, I like those brownies are very good. It being
Look, the best thing Little Debbie makes, and it's not even a very popular Little Debbie treat, and you don't find them very often. They're little Snicker. Well, there's two things. No, that's not true. Their peanut butter cream pies are the best, but
they're
them motherfuckers are like 300
oh,
calories each.
oh well
300 calories each for a peanut butter cream pie.
hello.
And then the other one is the little Snickerdoodle snack cakes. Hard to find. Those are delicious also.
Nutty Buddy.
Nutty buddy.
Eat the nutty bars.
And the
No,
oatmeal,
I'm not a nutty fan.
the oatmeal cream cakes.
Oatmeal cookies, as long as they ain't dry.
Have you guys tried the peanut butter cream pies?
No.
All right, Philip Lee has
By far the best thing Little Debbie makes. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, you're not a peanut butter fan, Stevie. I forgot. You're like messed up in the head.
Yeah.
Butter Star Crunch. I forgot all about that.
I hate Star Crushes.
You do?
Crazy.
Yeah, Star Crushes are nasty.
Crazy.
You like them?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gross. It's like Rice Krispies and caramel. It's gross.
Exactly. What's wrong with that?
I don't want that crap. That's
I
gross.
like the Star Crunch. They're like crack.
Yeah, the crap. You're right.
Crack. You guys have anything?
Don't say the F word, but say crack.
Yeah. So, do you have any last thoughts? By the way, I want to mention Wednesday night's our preview show for those who are still. We did have a good amount of people still watching, listening. Thank you so much.
You've lasted through this marathon episode. We've gone from football to soft drinks to Little Debbie cakes to
What's
what
next?
else? Cheesesteaks, Philly cheesesteaks.
Next topic of conversation: who's better, Little Debbie, Hostess, or Tasty Cake? Ooh,
Little Debbie.
Oh.
Tasty
Debbie.
Cake, baby, Tasty Cake.
Debbie.
You can call me a Yankee for this one. Tasty Cake kicks the crap
You
out
are
of
a
Hostess and Little Debbie.
I love Little Debbie.
No, man, Tasty Cake makes the best of the snack cake brands. I don't think it's close.
All right. John White says Tasty Cakes. He agrees with you, Kyle.
Yes, sir, John White. Better quality.
All right. We'll get it out of here. You guys have any final thoughts?
Tasty Cake's better than Little Debbie.
What about Temple? The Temple game.
East Carolina's better than Temple.
All right. Lion says so at 4.5. We'll see how that. But a preview on Wednesday night with Brian Bailey, the legend from WNCT. We'll have him, and our show will be around.
Yeah, and hopefully Ryan Wallen from Temple's 24/7 Sports.
Yes.
Got to confirm that, and hopefully I'll do that tomorrow morning.
All right. JR, Steve, you got anything?
I'm good. What about you,
No.
Joe?
I'm going to go grab me a ho-ho and a diet blackberry or blackberries zero, whatever.
I'll tell you what, a ho-ho sounds pretty good right about now.
Kyle was trying to.
Craig cracks me up.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Kyle was trying to get off the air 30 minutes ago. Again, I left, and you're still going.
So, Davis McKenzie have anything she wants to say before we go?
Do you have anything you want to say, Mackenzie?
No.
All right.
Okay. Good luck with the tennis, Mackenzie.
Yeah, good luck with tennis.
She ended on Thursday, but
Oh,
I keep
good
working.
luck next year with tennis.
Good luck next year. What do you want for Christmas, Mackenzie?
An e-bike.
An e-bike, Jesus.
What the heck's the e-bike?
Sheets.
Electric bike. These are Wawa.
Both.
Oh my gosh!
You know,
Here we go.
you know what? Here's the thing. All right. So we could put Royal Farm in the discussion too. Sheets, Royal Farm, or well, all right. So I have no dog in this fight, but I have some people that I like a lot that love Wawa and are so happy they came to Eastern North Carolina. So for my homies from Northern Virginia and from PA, I'm gonna go Wawa for my
Wawa.
Mid Atlantic homies.
They hired my
Hey, I got a take on this. Wawa for coffee. I'm a coffee dude. I like their coffee best. Sheets for sandwiches, for food, for subs.
Really?
Late
Because
night,
everybody says Wawa sandwiches are so great.
nah, they can't beat Sheets. There's no way. And then for fried chicken, it would be Royal Farms.
How about I'm going to say this? I don't eat food from a gas station.
They're not really gas stations, Kyle. They're convenience stores with pumps.
They are. Yeah, they're not just.
Yeah, but I grew up. Look, I did grow. To me, food from a gas station, and I'll retract that statement. Growing up in Eastern North Carolina, food from a gas station was from a grill where some black chick was back there cooking made to order hamburgers, and there was a little thing there. Maybe you get some fried chicken livers. That's gas station food to me, baby.
Okay, well, what about Buc-ee's? You would not take a brisket sandwich?
Yeah, no,
from
I'm being
Buc-ee's?
funny. I'm being funny when I say about gas stations
Oh,
food. I've
okay.
eaten at gas stations many times, but yeah, of course I would. Yes.
Wawa is cleaner than Sheets, and Royal Farms isn't clean. Smells like McDonald's, and the bathrooms are too small. John White says, "Is the large lady singing yet?"
It should have been, John.
Mocha Mint iced coffee at Wawa is great.
I read that as Macho Man, not coffee.
Macho
Oh,
Man.
yeah.
Great show, guys. Y'all have a good night. You got to get up early for work.
No, Philip, we got another half an hour you left. You got to stay up.
Hey, he says, I doubt Wawa has a fried liver sandwich.
Hey, look, fried chicken livers, man. I love fried chicken
Oh
livers.
my gosh, yeah, KFC used to have that.
Well, there's the good places. The gas station on the road here in Jason got fried chicken livers.
They don't have a KFC anymore in Williamston. So
Really? It closed down?
well, what happened is, you know how they have the combo of
Yeah,
KFC?
Taco Bell KFC, yeah.
Well, they say that the cake, not to get deep. Speaking of,
So it's just a Taco Bell now?
yeah, it's just gonna be Taco Bell only. They're
Okay.
saying that the combos, like for us in smaller markets, that they have a higher profit off of Taco Bell than KFC.
Interesting. But I'm trying to think. For chicken livers, Dave in Williamston, does Chicken Kitchen have them? I'll tell you who has them. Where I saw you at in Williamston a few months ago. You know where you were. I can't think of it.
Hold on.
Shamrock.
Oh, yeah.
Shamrock has chicken livers. They're pretty good.
Okay.
Chicken livers at all the gas stations around here.
Yeah. Well, they are around here too. A lot of them. I
What
love them.
about Country Mart?
All right. Hey, next week, can we discuss cheese biscuits?
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, guys. We'll get out of here as we have the preview on Wednesday night with Brian Bailey and hopefully Ryan Wallen of Al's Daily 24/7. He's like one of the Stephen Igos, if you will, of 24/7 for Temple. So we'll get out of here. And guys, I hope you have a great, we'll talk obviously off air, but we'll see you back on Wednesday night. And hopefully I can talk about Alexander winning the first game of the playoffs. Their first game is on Wednesday night. So we'll do that.
Good luck.
All right. Thanks. We need it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody watching the marathon edition of the Pirate Football Playback. We're calling TSO Sunday Night. Good night, everybody, and go Pirates.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.